on Broadcasting Sports.
A slow whirler, going to be a tough play. Hunsley, bare hands on the bounce and throw. He got him. What a play from Grayson Hunsley on the bare hand.
It's time for Post-8 Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Post-8 Baseball is brought to you by Comtech, True Green Camelon, Edward Jones Financial, Overhead Door, Todd's Electric, Shane's Pharmacy, Jaeger, AGE, First Fidelity, and State Farm Becky Potsuba Agency.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer.
Charlie Simpson hits a two-run home run, and it's a 3-2 ball game.
Post-8 Baseball is also brought to you by Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota, Oahe Federal Credit Union, Missouri River Dentistry, Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping, Agtegra, Farting Electric, Envirotech, and Kruger Climate Systems.
Here's a line shot out and towards left center field, diving and making the catch out in center is Sun and Shine. And a tip of the cap from the head coach.
Post-8 Baseball is also brought to you by Stalkin Peterson LLP, Wagner Auto, the South Dakota Office of Attorney General, Division of Consumer Protection, Gales Gas, First United Methodist Church, Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction, Beck Motors, and May Adam.
Gets with a fly ball to left field. That one is going back to the wall. It's out of here. A 3-run homer for Dawson Getz. And it's a 4-0 lead for the Eights.
And by American Family Insurance Brittany Schaffelbein Agency, Lamb Motors, Bank West, CHS River Plains, Faith Lutheran Church, Graham Tire, Kathy Sunshine Properties, Venture Communications, and the American of Fort Pierre. And now, Post-8 Baseball on KCCR.
And a good afternoon as we welcome you here to Hyde Stadium as we are set for the opener of the 2025 Legion season as Pierre Post-8 takes on the Brookings Bandits in another opening series doubleheader, opening season doubleheader, just like they had the last couple of years. And the Eights will be looking to get off with a couple of wins here this summer, as this is a team for Post-8 that returns plenty from last year, which is the first time we say that since the 2021-22 summers. They had a lot of seniors that did not play in 2023. The same was said in 2024. But everybody but one guy was unable to come back. Miles Doyle, who is now a coach with Post-8 on the one of the lower levels or the younger levels, he was unable to come back because of age. Everybody else was able to come back. So Nolan Peterson, Grayson Hunsley, Braden Houlette are 3 super seniors for this year's squad. And those juniors from last year, now seniors this year, they're all playing baseball for Post-8. And this is a group that's won a lot of games in the spring, fell just short of making the state tournaments, and are looking to get to the now state tournament for Legion baseball. But it all starts here this afternoon. You couldn't ask for a better weather to start the 2025 summer. A couple years ago, we were in hoodies getting the summer season going. I never thought I would have said that we were going to be in hoodies for a start of a summer baseball game. But it is a beautiful night here at Hyde Stadium. It's going to be a great opportunity for this Post-8 team to try and get a couple wins against Brookings Bandits, who returned quite a bit as well, but they were successful throughout the spring season. They, again, fell short of making the state tournaments, and now with a lot of those guys that got experience in the spring season and from the summer last year, they returned one of their best pitchers from last year in Breck Wilson, who will be the starter on opening day for the Bandits. And this should be a fun matchup between Breck Wilson and Will Danberg, who will get the starts. You know, he's one of those few guys that are moving into the season with the fact that Danberg is not one of those guys that played a lot last year or did not play at all in the summer side of things, but he did pitch a lot in the spring season. So he is one of those few guys, Parker O'Brien and Porter Hunsley in the starting lineup as well that did not play a lot did not play with the team last year in the summer, but got a lot of varsity experience in the spring and should turn into some really great things here. And just as we get set for the start of the 2025 season. Well, we'll step aside. We'll come back in 3 minutes and return with the starting lineups. Get you set for first pitch between the Pierre Post 8 and Brookings Bandits. You're listening to Post 8 Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Back in 3 minutes.
Want technology solutions you can trust from a neighbor you know? Comtech, locally owned and serving Pierre and surrounding area since 2009, is dedicated to keeping your home, farm, and business connected and secure. We offer a full range of services, from audio and video, security, surveillance, and networking with expert installation and support. Visit our storefront, call us at 605-224-4066, or visit our website, comtechplus.com, to experience the Comtech difference. Comtech, your local technology experts.
Hey, yo, Speedo's Lawn Care.
Hello. Say, my yard's in rough shape. It's got weeds, brown spots, and crabgrass.
Yeah, no problemo. What shade of green you need? We got 31 shades of green over here. Even the latest shade of septic tank grass green. That one just naturally gives off a glow.
Call the professionals at True Green. They know how to get your lawn healthy and keep it healthy. They guarantee it. All technicians are trained and certified.
Call True Green, 224-1916.
When you're looking for quality trash pickup services, look no further than Envirotech. 6 days a week, their trucks are on the road picking up trash, even holidays. They're also the place to contact for recycling services. Their friendly, professional staff is ready to assist with weekly pickups or even special pickups. Check out the website at envirotechwaste.com. Envirotech is locally operated. Call 224-4804. Envirotech Waste Services in Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
When life throws you a curveball, May Adam Law Firm in Pierre is here to help you knock it out of the park. For over 130 years, we've been providing trusted legal expertise in business, family law, criminal defense, and more. Proud sponsors of this season's baseball action, we're committed to serving our community both on and off the field. Need legal advice? Step up to the plate with May Adam Law Firm. Visit mayadam.net or call today. May Adam, South Dakota's law firm since 1881.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back, the sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dreams. With plans that could save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. American Family Insurance.
Visit mfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Contact the Brittany Shufflebind Agency, LLC, 224-6627.
Looking for your next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up, all online. New or used, shop for it all online, anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
As we welcome you back here at beautiful Hyde Stadium on this Thursday afternoon, looking ahead into the Thursday evening, we are getting set for first pitch between Pierre and Brookings as John Wick, they're with you on this Thursday. Jen Brazilius back at the station. Go through the starting lineups real quick. First, for the Brookings Bandits, the visitors on the scoreboard. Trey Christopherson, the center fielder, will lead things off. Cooper Schneider, the second baseman, will bat second. Chase Bauer, the catcher, will bat third. Winston Plummer, the DH, batting fourth. Tyson Anton, the shortstop, will bat fifth. Tane Frederick, the first baseman, batting sixth. Kyson Ruhr, the third baseman, batting seventh. Maxon Jensen, the right fielder, will bat eighth. And Jay Harris, the left fielder, is batting ninth. Breck Wilson is on the mound for the Bandits. For the eights, it is Sun and Shine that will lead things off. He is the catcher. Dawson Getz, the shortstop, will bat second. Nolan Peterson, the DH, is batting third. Cooper Twilliger, the first baseman, will bat fourth. Grayson Hunsley, the third baseman, batting fifth. Ridge Lineback will bat sixth and play left field. Charlie Simpson is the right fielder, batting seventh. Porter Hunsley is in center, batting eighth. And Parker O'Brien, the second baseman, will bat ninth. Will Danberg is on the mound for game one of this doubleheader. No Carter Shufflebind today. He is out with state track as he is competing for the Governors and looking for potential state championship for that relay team. And we're excited to see how many state champions that the Governors might be getting here at the end of this track weekend out in Sioux Falls. But that is a look at your starting lineups for both teams. The head coaches, River Iverson for Post 8 and Carter Roach for the Brookings Bandits. They're trading lineup cards and talking with the umpires. So we are just about set for first pitch here of Game 1 of the 2025 season. All games of the Post 8 season right here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Not a lot of home games. This is just one of 6. So if you're thinking about coming out to Hyde Stadium to catch some Legion baseball, you don't have a whole lot of opportunities this season, this summer. So if you've got the opportunity, make sure you head over to Hyde Stadium tonight already and then catch this doubleheader. It should be a good one against Brookings before the 8s head on to take on Sioux Falls East next Tuesday. The hosts Sturgis, Box Elder, Sioux Falls West, Post 320, and Watertown in the other 5 doubleheaders that will be here at Hyde Stadium for the Senior Legion. The 15-16 Junior Legion team will have a few more doubleheaders at home, but for the Senior Legion, we're here just 6 times, this one being the first of those 6 times this afternoon. We are just about set for first pitch between Pierre Post 8 and Brookings. We'll take another timeout. We'll come back with that first pitch of the 2025 season back in 3 minutes here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
No one likes to have electrical problems, but when they happen, call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. With over 28 years of experience, Todd's Electric can handle any type of electrical problem, whether it's residential, commercial, or agricultural. Their knowledgeable staff knows and understands the importance of your home, business, or ag facility and are prepared to help. Call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. That's 223-2518. Todd's Electric, serving the Pierre and Fort Pierre areas. The line to power.
Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisors understand this. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of Governor Athletics on KCCR. Go Govs! For all your investment needs, call or stop by one of our offices to visit with your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisor. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Stolken Peterson LLP has been your local CPA firm for over 40 years, offering tax preparation, bookkeeping, payroll, and consulting services. If your business, farm, or ranch needs professional, accurate, and reliable services, we are your firm. Our clients are our #1 priority. If you need a higher level of accounting service, give us a call at 605-224-5828. That's Stolken Peterson LLP, 222 East Missouri Avenue in Pierre.
Swing for the fences with a great deal from Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre. Whether you need a powerful truck, a fuel-efficient sedan, or a spacious SUV, they've got the perfect lineup to keep you on the road and in the game. Don't strike out. Stop by today or visit CapitalCityFordToyota.com. Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota, where the best deals in town are always in play.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention, it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
Becky Potsaba and State Farm Insurance are here to help you with your insurance and banking needs. State Farm's not just insurance. It's banking, investments, IRAs, loans, and a whole lot more. We offer guidance in a personal and caring way that helps you manage the risks of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and find ways to control costs so you can realize your dreams. We know how life is, and we're here for you. Stop in to see Becky at 1315 East Wells Avenue in Pierre, or call Becky at 224-4173.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
For over 60 years, Ferding Electric has been powering homes and businesses across central South Dakota. When you need reliable electrical service, trust the experts with decades of experience. Whether it's a simple residential repair, a complex commercial installation, or even electrical work on your farm, Ferding Electric has you covered. And if you're tired of searching everywhere for that hard-to-find bulb, Ferding Electric carries a wide selection of bulbs, including those hard-to-find fluorescent and specialty options. Visit us at 2903 East Elizabeth Street or call today, 605-224-8684. Venture Communications has deep roots in rural South Dakota. Venture now proudly provides fiber to the home with 100% of our customers, enabling them to enjoy super fast and reliable internet connections. We'd like the opportunity to keep you in touch with the people and resources that matter most. 100% fiber and 100% committed to rural South Dakota. Call Venture Communications today at 605-852-2224, 605-852-2224, or online at venturecom.net.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your healthcare is important, and Shane wants to be the pharmacist to take care of you. Shane's Pharmacy will make sure your prescriptions are filled in a timely manner, they will answer your questions, and they will even deliver to your home or office. Call 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy, the pharmacy you know and trust. The number again is 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy in Fort Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
Yag Air Incorporated is your locally owned ag, chemical, and seed retailer. Yag Air Incorporated offers reliable ground and aerial application. For the latest seed and chemical pricing, contact Kyle at 605-280-8710 or Tony at 605-280-4771. Yag Air for all your ag, chemical, and seed needs. Kyle, 605-280-8710 or Tony, 605-280-4771.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
And we welcome you back as we are getting set for first pitch between Pierre and Brookings here on a KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. National anthem just sung by Jeff Fidel, the PA announcer as well, did a fantastic job. And we are set and ready to go for the opening day game of the 2025 summer season. Will Danberg will be the starter for the Eights as he takes the mound with sudden sun and shine behind the plate. As we'll talk about his numbers here in just a moment. You are listening to KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront broadcasting station. The starting lineup again for the Brookings Bandits. Drake Christopherson, the center fielder, lead things off. Cooper Schneider, the second baseman, will bat second. Chase Bauer, the catcher, is batting third. Winston Plummer, the DH, batting fourth. Tyson Anton, the shortstop, will bat fifth. Tane Frederick, the first baseman, will bat sixth. Kyson Ruhr, the third baseman, will bat seventh. Maxon Jensen, the right fielder, batting eighth. And Jay Harris, the left fielder, will bat ninth for Brookings Bandits. And Breck Wilson will be on the mound for Brookings here in the first game, which it's not the same matchup that we saw in Game 1 last year, but Breck Wilson did pitch in Game 1 last year against the Eights, and we'll talk about that here in just a little bit once we get to the bottom half of the inning. But for Will Danberg, who is making his Senior Legion debut, he did throw 41 1/3 innings, which was most on the spring season for the Governors, as he had 9 appearances, 6 starts. He went 5-2 overall with 38 hits, 21 runs. 7 of those 21 runs were earned, as 14 unearned runs. That if Post State wants to have the success that they want to have this summer, those amount of runs, not the earned runs, but those amount of runs that are given up have got to be, they had 30 unearned runs on the spring season, and 14 of those came at the expense of Danberg pitching. He had 8 walks, 31 strikeouts. That is a pretty good strikeout to walk ratio. He did hit 8 guys, so really you're looking at 2-to-1 strikeout to walks hit by pitch, whatever, how that works out, a 2-to-1 ratio. An ERA at 1.19, a WHIP at 1.13, and expect that 1.11. And a batting average against at 235 for Will Danberg. That is an impressive sophomore season for the Governors. And now for the Eights, as the first pitch is going to miss low for ball one as we open things up at 5:01 here this Thursday evening. And post-8 baseball is officially underway here in 2025. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Danberg to Christofferson. That's over for a strike, and it's now 1-1 to Christofferson. And Christofferson was not a part of the Senior Legion team last year, so he's making his debut, but he did play extensively for the Bobcats during the spring season, as it counts 2-1 now to Christofferson. He hit .314. He had 2 doubles and a triple, 15 runs driven in, which was second to make that third on the team. And out of that leadoff spot, so he was able to drive in runs. Here's a line shot into right field for a base hit out past the outstretched arm of Terwilliger. And it will be a leadoff single to kick off the season for the Brookings Bandits. And now here's Cooper Schneider. Senior Legion debut. Owen Schneider played last year for the Bandits, but Cooper Schneider now playing for the Bobcats and now into the summer for the Bandits, as he hit .373 for Brookings this spring. Here's the first pitch from Danberg, who will work from the stretch. That is taken at the knees for a strike one. You look at Brookings, they're a team that's, both these teams are coming in with plenty of experience, but young guys because of what they all did in the springtime season. Now, for Pierre, they've got more Senior Legion experience that's coming back than what Brookings does. But again, there's not much else to it. There's a pickoff attempt, and back in standing up is Christofferson, which again, some, depending on how you look at it, maybe a little bit more of, not really sure exactly the words you're looking for, the words I'm looking for on the difference between spring and summer baseball. There's a little bit different. You only get some super seniors, maybe some college baseball players that come back and that will play, and obviously, Post 22 has several. You'll see maybe a couple other Watertown guys will come in. Brookings the last couple of years have had some super seniors that comes in. It's not any tougher to win in Legion baseball than high school baseball, but there is a little bit more of, again, I don't even say better players. Here's a fly ball to left field. That'll hang up for Rich Leinbach to make the catch. He was in the transfer of trying to throw it to second, so out is still recorded, and there's one down. And it's now Jace Bauer. That was a play for Leinbach out and left, which again, that would have gotten Christofferson out at second if they would have said that he had dropped the ball on the catch. But he is out on the fly ball on the catch. So there's Christofferson still over at first base with one out, and the number 3 man in Jace Bauer. The first pitch will miss low, and a good block there from Sutton Sunshine. Bauer also making his Senior Legion debut. He hit .298 this spring and led the team with 19 runs driven in, 10 doubles and 2 triples. Almost half of his hits came with extra bases. That one's at the top of the zone for a strike, and the count's 1-1 here to Jace Bauer. Runner on at first here with one away in the top of the first between Pierre and Brookings. First game of the 2025 summer. Here's the 1-1. Runner takes off. That'll scoop off the glove of Sunshine, and easily standing up will be Christofferson at second. And there is a runner on in scoring position now with one out here at the top of the first. These two teams played at the beginning of the season last year. It's kind of almost become a tradition at this point that they're opening the season against each other. Really well matched up teams. For the most part, all year, even if Pierre's down or Brookings is down, they still give good games to the opposing side. Here's the 2-1 that will miss low, and the count's now 3-1. It was a 1-0 8-inning win for Brookings in Game 1 last year, and then a 2-1 win. That one only went 7 innings, but a total of 3-1 in those 2 games that Brookings end up winning by 1-run games. Here's a ground ball that'll be up the middle, fielded by the second baseman O'Brien. He'll make the easy throw to first. Christofferson moves over to third. There's now 2 down, and a runner on at third. And it brings up Winston Plummer, who will try and drive in the season's first run for Brookings. Winston Plummer, again, making his, well, he did hit had 20 at-bats last summer, hit 150 with a double and 2 runs driven in. But this spring had 60 at-bats, hit 267 for Brookings. As the first pitch to Plummer is at the knees for strike 1. Big opportunity here for Danberg with 2 outs and a runner over at third base to try and keep this a scoreless first inning. That one's over for a strike. The count's 0-2. And now Danberg a strike away from getting out of this top of the first inning after the leadoff single from Christofferson. Danberg will work from the windup. He'll deliver the 0-2 pitch. Has a chopper high off the plate that'll be foul over to Grayson Hunsley over at third. He is one of the 2 super seniors in the starting lineup. Nolan Peterson not fielding, but is hitting and batting third as the DH. Hunsley had an excellent end. Grayson Hunsley, that is. We'll talk about we'll have to make sure we differentiate between the Hunsleys that are in the field. 0-2 pitch again, that is grounded over towards Christofferson in foul territory. He backs away from it and does grounded foul, and the count remains at 0-2. But he had an excellent end to his 2024 summer, including what you heard at the opening of that barehanded play that he made against Yankton in the final regular season game. He was a guy that was really dialed in for Post State at the end of the season. Here's a hard line drive. That is right to Porter Hunsley, and he'll make the catch. That one got to Hunsley in a hurry, but he is able to retire Plummer, and the leadoff single is left stranded. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left on base. After half an inning, there is no score between Pierre and Brookings. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Summer is here, and Beck Motor Company is stepping up to the plate. As a proud supporter of Legion Baseball, we're hitting it out of the park with unbeatable deals on the Chevy and Cadillac vehicles. Whether you're looking for the power of a Chevy Silverado or the luxury of a Cadillac Escalade, Beck Motor Company has the perfect ride for you. So swing by today, take your game and your drive to the next level. Beck Motor Company, your local Chevy and Cadillac dealer, proud to support our youth and ready to put you behind the wheel of your dream vehicle. www.beck-motors.com, 605-224-5912.
Walking together in faith, living together in faith, working together in faith, that's who we are.
Hi, this is Pastor Sam Hanschke. I hope that our athletes have an excellent and successful season. I pray that God would continue to richly bless them. I invite you to join me in praying for our athletes during the year.
We're Faith Lutheran and we are glad you're here.
Well, the Eights are coming to the plate here in the bottom of the first, as there is no score on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebind scoreboard. And it is the starting lineup. Sutton Sonnenschein, the catcher. Dawson Getz, the shortstop, batting second. Nolan Peterson, the DH, will bat third. Cooper Twilliger, the first baseman, batting fourth. Grayson Hunsley, the third baseman, batting fifth. Ridge Leinbach, the left fielder, bat sixth. Charlie Simpson, the right fielder, batting seventh. Porter Hunsley, the center fielder, batting eighth. And Parker O'Brien will round out the order as he bats ninth for Post State here in Game 1 of the 2025 season. The Eights will head to Sioux Falls next Tuesday and then to Rapid starting Thursday morning, pretty early Thursday morning, like the first 2 games of the tournament. They will play 9 a.m. Mountain Time, and they will play back-to-back games, so 10 a.m. Central Time. So we got a Thursday morning broadcast for you. Not even, I guess technically you could say it's a matinee, but it's a early matinee on Thursday. And then they play late Friday night. So they play the first 2 games on Thursday, and then they play the last game on Friday, and then the middle game on Saturday, which then, Sunday will all be determined on how they finish. They could play as early as the first game, or they could play the final game of that Sunday, depending on how it goes at the Veterans Classic. First pitch to Sutton Sonnenschein from Breck Wilson is over for strike 1. As Breck Wilson he was a big part. Well, he didn't throw a whole lot for Brookings last summer, but he was excellent in the win for Brookings last year against Post State, as that will miss outside for a ball. He threw 11 2/3 innings in just 2 starts. He was 1-1. ERA was at 3.6. He had a shutout, obviously, against the the Eights. He threw all 8 innings in that 1-0 win. He threw 85 pitches in 8 innings, as that one is upstairs, and the count's 2-1 here to Sutton Sunshine. He allowed just 1 hit with 1 walk. I mean, it was a really dominating performance from Brock Wilson in that opening game last year. This will be popped foul on the right side. This will get out of play, and the count is now at 2-2. Post 8 last year, and for Sutton Sunshine last season, he hit .297 with 6 doubles, a triple, and 20 runs driven in. That was the team lead for Sutton Sunshine. He had also second of the team in hits behind Nolan Peterson's 41. He had 35 hits. There's a fly ball to right field. That'll be down the line. Moving over is the right fielder. He's not going to get there. It's going to drop. It's going to roll out towards the wall just in front of the track. But Sunshine's rounding second. He's going to have himself a leadoff triple, a leadoff stand-up triple. As Max and Jensen maybe thought that that ball was carrying a little bit farther or not far enough, and then it was out of his outstretched arm, and it turns into a triple. And it's now a runner on third with nobody out. And immediately the Eights have a chance to take a 1-0 lead. And again, you go back to last summer, and obviously it's a team that is, 50 games farther than what they were last year. But they scored 1 run in 2 games against Brookings. And here, 2 batters in, they're a chance to match that from what they had last summer. First pitch to Getz, it'll be popped foul behind home plate for strike 1. Sunshine during the regular season he had 3 triples, so he's already a third of the way there for the spring. But he matched his triples from last year with the one that he had. Off to a good start. Outside of hitting a home run to lead things off on your summer season. This ball will get to the backstop and easily scoring as Sunshine. A wild pitch will bring in the game's first run. And the Eights have a 1-0 lead. And again, they played 15 innings last summer against Brookings. They scored 1 run. Obviously, things were different in the springtime when they swept Brookings in Brookings. But off to a really good start here for the Eights, as that will miss low, and the count's 2-1 here to Dawson Getz. Getz last summer, .276 batting average. He had one of the 3 home runs that were hit by the Eights. He had 16 runs driven in. In the springtime for Dawson Getz, .233 batting average. 11 runs driven in, just 17 hits and 73 at-bats. That one will be at the knees. Getz wanted to offer at it, did not, and then thought maybe it was still going to be ball 3. Again, the difference between the summer and spring season, one, the amount of games, but it really shows on the stat sheet too, as that will be just outside. They will check, and he did not swing, says the first base umpire. So the count is now full at 3-2 with 1 out, or make that nobody out here in the bottom of the first, and a run already scored. Here's a 3-2 from Wilson. Getz will fly this to right field. That'll be out of play. But nobody for the Governors, Shufflebine and Carter Shufflebine make that. Getz had the most plate appearances at 87. Shufflebine had 83 and Sunshine at 81. You look down at the plate appearances for post 8. I mean, the highest was Nolan Peterson, 149. This will be popped foul out of play. So it gives you a chance to swing the bat more often, step to the plate. And we only had 3 guys that had over 100 at-bats in the summer season, with Getz having 98. I mean, he was close to having 100 at-bats. And so it really gives you a good opportunity to kind of find your swing a little bit more in the summer season. This will be fouled back again. We talked a little bit about this morning between Dylan Simmons and I were talking about the 8th season opening up. The spring season's a sprint, and the summer season is a marathon. A lot more games. You manage a lot more arms that way. And there's a swing and a miss by Getz, and there's the first out here in the bottom of the first inning. And it will bring up the number 3 man, Nolan Peterson. Peterson, one of those 3 super seniors that came back. He had the most at-bats. He had the .342 batting average, which led the team in qualified at-bats. Most hits in the team with 41. He had 7 doubles, 3 triples, had an inside-the-park home run, 15 runs driven in. For Nolan Peterson, he hit .357 with runners in scoring position. I mean, he's earned that right to be the number 3 guy as he digs in for the first time since last summer. First pitch is over for strike 1. And a guy that worked his tail off to be kind of the everyday starting catcher and everyday guy in the lineup, every game guy in the lineup for Post State. And really the springtime last year, too, as this will be fouled back, and the count's 0-2. Here to Nolan Peterson. And then Cooper Twilliger will be on deck. 1-0 our score here in the bottom of the first. The 0-2 pitch from Breck Wilson to Peterson. That'll miss low. Counts 1-2. Always interested to see these super seniors that come back, whether they played college baseball or not. The adjustment of getting back into the swing of, maybe seeing arms that are not college level arms yet. Here's a floater towards right center or right field where the second baseman and Cooper Schneider will go back and make the catch. And there's now 2 down, and it brings up Cooper Twilliger as he plays first base for the Eights here in the first game of the season. Twilliger did not play. Well, he didn't get a chance. Well, he did play last summer quite a bit for the Eights. Not going to be used as a pitcher. He had 57 innings pitched for Post State last year. But in the spring, he had .371 coming off that shoulder surgery. That was a big swing and a miss by Twilliger, and good velocity there by Breck Wilson as he evens the count at a ball and a strike. Twilliger at .250 last summer with 3 doubles, 6 runs driven in. Here's 1-1. That'll be outside, and the count's 2-1. Jay Harris is out in left. Trey Christofferson is in center. Maxon Jensen is in right. Kyson Ruhr, the third baseman. Tyson Anden at short. Cooper Schneider at second. Tane Frederick at first. As Jace Bauer, that one found right back behind him. The catcher for Brookings as Twilliger fouls it away. Counts 2-2. And then Breck Wilson on the mound for the Bandits in game 1 of the season. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and a strikeout of Twilliger. 2 strikeouts in the inning, but a run does score on 1 hit, no errors, and no one left on base. The Eights have a 1-0 lead at the end of 1. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Has it been years since you've been to the dentist? Are you afraid to see a dentist? If so, you are among many people who feel this way. Hi, I am Dr. Michelle Hofer of Missouri River Dentistry. At our office, we pride ourselves as an office that uses a personal touch to offer gentle dentistry, tailored to fit each patient's needs. We do so by utilizing state-of-the-art equipment and methods which allow the patients to feel comfortable. So whether it has been many years or 6 months since your last dental visit, your oral health is important. We invite you to call us at Missouri River Dentistry, 223-2021, 223-2021.
As South Dakota's oldest auto dealer, it's our 118th anniversary. Stop by and sign up for drawings, prizes, beef bucks. You save thousands with Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram employee pricing, plus incentives for everyone. Buick GMC incentives up to $6,250. Plus, all of our new vehicles in stock are tariff-free. Check out our huge selection of used vehicles at our 118th anniversary on the windshields and at WagnerAuto.com. Wagner Auto, your one place to go for sales and service, 118 years in Pierre.
As we welcome you back, it is the top of the second and a 1-0 lead on the American Family Insurance Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard. As it will be for Brookings, 4-5, make that 5, 6, and 7. Tyson Anden, Tane Frederick, and Kyson Ruhr, the first 3 hitters for the Bandits, with Will Danberg now pitching with the lead here in game 1 next Tuesday. And you'll have to make sure, usually we see 5 o'clock doubleheaders all the way across the board when we're playing. Every once in a while, you see a little bit of a difference. Tournaments being aside, because everybody, you play early in the day, but there are not a lot of 5 o'clock starting double headers across. There's hardly any 5 o'clock starting double headers after tonight's. Here's the first pitch. There's a swing and a foul off of Sun and Shine for the first strike here at the top of the second. It's a 4 o'clock start against Sioux Falls East. And then the next time we have a 5 o'clock Central Time starting doubleheader is when we host Sioux Falls West on July 1st. Everything else is a little bit different now. Obviously, there's a Sunday in there with Harrisburg, and you're never going to start a Sunday afternoon at 5 o'clock. There's a chopper off the plate. Counts 0-2. Then we go to travel to Bismarck on July 15th, and that's a 5 o'clock doubleheader start. Everything else is 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock. There's a couple 4 o'clock Central Time, but 3 o'clock Mountain Time starts. So you have to make sure that you kind of keep an eye and keep an ear out for when we say start times will be, because not the normal 5 o'clock start times that you'll end up seeing for Post State, as that one will miss low and the counts 1-2. But a 4 o'clock start next Tuesday against Sioux Falls East, and then again, it's a 10 o'clock start Central Time on Thursday for the Rapid City Tournament Veterans Classic, hosted by Post 22 and Post 320. 1-2. That'll bounce. That'll hit the mask of Sun and Shine, and with nobody on base, doesn't matter that they got to the backstop. And the count's now 2-2. Curveball is spiked right off the plate, trying to get Tyson Anton into chase. Antonin last summer hit 103 for the Bandits, just 3 of 29. But this year in the spring hit 286. And again, now it's the full count as that one missed low. But hit 286 with 22 hits and just that one double with 8 runs driven in. And he threw 37 innings in 8 appearances. That was second most of the team, tied second most of the team in appearances and the most starts for the Bobcats. 3-2 is fouled away. We'll do it again here at 3-2. This is the top of the second, game 1, the 2025 summer season. Post State's ultimate goal is to get to Watertown the last week of July, playing in the Class A Legion State Tournament. 3-2. Swing and a miss, and Danberg will get his first strikeout of the ball game. Leadoff man retired. Here in the top of the second, it will bring up Tane Frederick. Ridge Leinbach is out in left. Porter Hunsley out in center. Charlie Simpson in right. Grayson Hunsley at third. Dawson Getz at short. Parker O'Brien at second. Cooper Twilger at first. And Sutton Sun and Shine behind the plate. As Will Danberg will now pitch to Frederick with nobody on and 1 out here in the top of the second inning. From the windup, first pitch to him. That one's fouled over to the third base dugouts. And a first pitch strike for Danberg. Danberg during the spring, 63% of the time he was throwing first pitch strike. And again, a batting average of 235. Was very efficient. He was able to get to, he had quite a few complete games and got close to having complete games. That one will miss, and the count's now 1-1. He had the most perfect innings of 1, 2, 3. Actually, he had the second most. Ridge Leinbach had 14. He had 12. But nobody else, they combined for 26 of the 46. So there's only 20 other 1, 2, 3 innings during the spring season that weren't from Will Danberg or Ridge Leinbach. But a team that hit 228 in the spring, they gave up a 211 batting average. That one's at the knees, and the count's 1-2. Now here to Frederick. For the Bobcats in the spring, they hit 272. Last summer, they hit 258. That one is a good curveball by Danberg, but not biting was Frederick, and the count's 2-2. Post State last season hit 249 as a team. Here's the 2-2. That one is at the knees for strike 3. Frederick, I don't know if he agreed with it or not, but back-to-back strikeouts here for Danberg 2 down here at the top of the second, and it brings up Kyson Rearer. For Rearer, this will be, I believe, his first at-bats of his Senior Legion career. As Rearer during the season, he had just 56 overall as the first pitch is over for strike one. Just went 1 for 18 in total with an RBI. The guy trying to get a few more at-bats. He will get more at-bats as the summer season goes along. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This will be popped up on the right side. Twilliger, that is playable for him. Still moving over, and then I believe it landed in play, but it bounced out of play, and he just missed it. The pole by the first base dugout got in the way of seeing exactly where it landed, but it does land foul, and the count's now 0-2. And Danberg will be looking for 3 strikeouts now. There is relatively no wind. Here's the 0-2 now from Danberg to Ruhr to try and close out the second inning. That one just missing outside. We saw the triple from Sonnenschein that the right fielder in Jensen thought maybe the ball was either going to get to him or was going to be landing foul, but it landed right down the line. This time, Twilliger was just a couple steps to his left and felt like he was already underneath it. They will check over at first, and no swing, says the first base umpire, and Ruhr now works it back from an 0-2 count to 2-2. That right side of the field, a little bit of a struggle. Maybe playing the ball as it's falling away. Here's a ground ball over to third. Grayson Hunsley will field. His throw across the diamond is in time. And a 1-2 inning for Danberg here at the top of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. We head to the bottom of the second and a 1-0 lead for the Eights after an inning and a half. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
People helping people.
Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Owyhee Federal Credit Union member? At Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place because, well, they do.
Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Most of us already know that Gales Gas of Pierre is the place to call for propane. They offer an automatic fill plan so you never have to worry about running out of propane. They accept debit and credit payments or a budget payment plan to spread out the cost throughout the year so you never have surprises when you get your bill. For delivery, convenience, and great customer service, call Gales Gas at 224-5518. That's Gales Gas at 224-5518.
Bottom of the second, 1-0 lead of the American Family Insurance Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard for the Eights. And it will be Grayson Hunsley, Rich Leinbach, and Charlie Simpson will be the first 3 hitters. If anyone gets on base, Porter Hunsley will have a chance to come to the plate. And Grayson Hunsley will have his first shots since last summer. Hunsley hit .263, he had 3 doubles, 17 runs driven in, which was third on the team, tied for a third on the team. With Sonnenschein leading with 20, Charlie Simpson was second at 18, and then Grayson Hunsley and Schuffelbein and Carter Schuffelbein each had 17 for the Eights. So Grayson Hunsley, again, we mentioned it in the top of the first inning, he was excellent for the Eights. He might have been the best player for Post State down the stretch of the season. A guy that was really dialed in as the first pitch is popped up left side, foul territory. Third baseman will call for to make the catch. Ruhr will move away from the catcher. Actually, the catcher power moves away from Ruhr to make the catch. And the leadoff man is retired here in the bottom of the second of the first pitch. And then brings up Rich Leinbach, the left fielder. So Leinbach, who did not play last summer after his injury at the beginning of the spring season, got a chance to start swinging the bat again here this past spring as the first pitch will miss low for ball 1. He will be a huge addition to this Eights lineup for the summer. When you get all these guys that are returning and having a chance to hit again and have that experience for the Senior Legion, that Leinbach adds to it. There's a big cut by Leinbach, and he'll swing and miss for strike one. 266 this spring. 21 hits, just one extra base hit. 11 runs driven in, though, for Leinbach, which was tied for second on the team. Here's the 1-1. That'll miss low, and the count's now 2-1. Charlie Simpson, the right fielder, is on deck. You get Porter Hunsley and Parker O'Brien. This lineup for Post State, again, not to discredit what last summer was for Post State, but the balance that this summer can have with the lineup as this has popped up behind home plate, off to the right side, and the catcher Bauer throws his mask. He makes the catch, and 2 foul outs here in the bottom of the second. Brings up Charlie Simpson with 2 away. And Charlie Simpson, again, who was second on the team in runs driven in last year. He with the 18 runs driven in, 194 batting average, but a guy that swings a good stick, and when you have him hitting 7th in the batting order, it tells you that this lineup is a lot more balanced and a lot deeper than what it was last summer. Simpson, during the spring, hit 254, had 2 doubles, 3 triples, and 8 runs driven in. As that'll be on the inside corner at the knees for a strike. The count's 0-2. You kind of got down to the bottom of the order for Post State last summer, and you're maybe hoping guys would get walked, maybe scratch out a hit here or there, but I think this summer's lineup, and especially after what the growing pains of last year brought, that it turns into, it's not, there's some tough hitters at the bottom of the order for Post State. Simpson being one of them, and then you go to Porter Hunsley, and O'Brien after that. Here's a fly ball to right field. Backing up is the right fielder, Jensen. That will get over his head and will roll to the wall. Simpson is on second. He will stop there with a 2-out stand-up double. And Post State is in business here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning, and allows Porter Hunsley a chance to try and drive in a run. And for Porter Hunsley, his first Senior Legion at-bat, but he hit 240 during the regular season for the spring team. He drove in 4 runs, had a double as well. And if you remember from last summer, we talked about this. We had to go to Mandan. We had to go to game 2 of that Mandan doubleheader before Pierre even had an extra base hit, which I believe was, without going back and looking at it real quick, and my phone's being more used for the internet right now than being able to look up different things. But that was game 6 of the season before Pierre had their first extra base hit last summer. And now you've got 2 extra base hits in 2 innings. And Hunsley can drive him in. He'll have a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the second. This will be popped foul out of play. Bauer started to give chase. And the count's now 1-1 here to Porter Hunsley. Rising sophomore. And we've seen this a few extra times. We've seen a lot of guys, being able to play as rising sophomores, just the way the numbers fall. And obviously you have to be a good baseball player to be doing it too. Cooper Twilliger did it. Carter Sanderson was doing it going into his freshman year. 1-1 pitch that'll come inside. And counts 2-1. Lincoln Keenol's another guy that that was his first opportunity to play high school type baseball, was 2020 after his freshman year. And he moved in after, the COVID season, didn't get a chance to play high school baseball at all. And Hunsley will pop this one out to left field. Coming in will be the left fielder, and Harris to make the catch, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the second. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left on base. We have played 2 complete here at Hyde Stadium and a 1-0 lead for Pierre over Brookings. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping wants to make it easy for you to get that lush green lawn and that yard haven that you've been dreaming of. Visit dakotasprinkler.com to make appointments for sprinkler system spring startup, service calls, fall winterization, and landscaping quotes. Trust Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping's professionals to get you through the planning and installation to make your landscaping needs a reality. Visit dakotasprinkler.com today.
Hey you. Are you at a job that is fulfilling, has good benefits to support you or a family today, and retirement goes down the road? If you just said no, listen up. CHS River Plains is hiring operations personnel, drivers, and custom applicators at several locations. These come with a knockout affordable benefit package for you and the whole family. Apply to a job with CHS River Plains and up your benefits straight up. To apply, visit us online at chsriverplains.com or stop in at one of our locations. CHS is an equal opportunity employer.
Top of the third, 1-0 lead for Post State on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard. John Wickler with you on this Thursday evening. Jen Brazilius back at the station. 8-9-1 for Brookings. Max and Jensen, Jay Harris, and then Trey Christofferson. If he reaches base, it'll go to Cooper Schneider. 2 hits so far for the Eights, a triple and a double. A single, which was a leadoff single for Trey Christofferson for Brookings. That was in the top of the first. That's the lone base runners for these three. Or these lone base runner for these two teams, but the 3 base runners in total have been 3 hits. Max and Jensen leads things off. And for Jensen, this will be his first Senior Legion at-bat, 196 during the regular season for the spring side. This first pitch will bounce in for ball 1. Jensen at 196, a double and a triple with 8 runs driven in for the Bobcats during the season. Here's the 1-0. That'll miss low, and the count's now 2-0 here to Jensen. And Danberg has retired 6 straight after that leadoff single. Christofferson stole second and then ended up advancing to third on the ground out, but a flyout ended that inning, and now the count's 3-0 as that one misses just low underneath the knees of Jensen. And most likely will be taken here from a 3-0 pitch from Will Danberg as he delivers the 3-0. Takes some speed off of it, puts it right down the middle, and it's now 3-1. Still good hitters count here for Max and Jensen to try and be a base runner to lead off the top of the third. 3-1 pitch. Here's a ground ball right back to Danberg. He will field and step and throw and retires Jensen to lead off the top of the third inning. Good comebacker from, that was a good hard hit ball from Jensen, but Danberg with a good reaction time. Easily fielded. And it now brings up the number 9 man in Jay Harris. And then Danberg also, sometimes a pitcher after a hard comebacker like that maybe gets a little bit too antsy of trying to throw the ball to first base, but calmly throw to first, and retire Jensen as the first pitch is upstairs for ball 1. A lot of times pitchers will run the ball over there underhand and flip it too high or flip it too low, and Danberg didn't, fire a 90-mile-an-hour fastball at Terwilliger, but just like he's playing catch with Terwilliger, just step and throw from the mound and retire Jensen. Counts 1-1 to Jay Harris, the left fielder. On the 1-1, that one just missing low and away. Harris during the spring, .224 batting average, 10 runs driven in, an OPS of .599. 2-1. That'll miss low as well. And it's a 3-1 count here to Harris. And another time that Danberg is in danger of walking his first hitter of the ball game. Harris did not play for the Senior Legion team last season. That one will be fouled away, and the count's 3-2. Again, you look back to last summer when these two teams met. Pierre had just that 1 hit from Trevor Rounds in the 1-0 loss in 8 innings. Then only had 2 hits the next game from Nolan Peterson and Grayson Hunsley. 3-2 has popped up left field. Linebach will come in. He'll call off Porter Hunsley. He'll make the catch. And there are 2 down here in the top of the third. And back to the top of the order for Trey Christofferson. And Miles Doyle and J.J. Buckles throwing in that first game. It was the unearned run that came in to score after Doyle had a 13 strikeout performance in 6 2/3 innings. Almost went 7 complete. And Terwilliger threw 5 2/3 last year. We will not see Terwilliger on the mound this summer. First pitch to Christofferson is outside for ball 1. Just the surgery that he had will not allow him to be able to pitch, and obviously, you're looking at him being a football player in college, not so much a baseball player in college, because he's pretty much already got his pick of anywhere he wants to go play college football, and he's going to be able to go play for that team. So and there's a couple different surgeries without, I'm obviously not a doctor at all, and that one's over for a strike. The count's 1 and 2, but the surgery that he did have wasn't really, I wouldn't say conducive for baseball, but you're not going to have, if you're a baseball player, that's not the type of surgery that you're going to have. You're going to have a little bit different one to be able to pitch again, as it counts now 2 and 2 here to Christofferson. So he'll be relatively at first base for the most part. He'll DH, and that bat will stay in the order for the most part of the 2025 summer. 2-2 pitch. Christofferson rips that over to right field. That's going to get over the head of Simpson all the way to the wall. 1 hops off the wall. Christofferson on his way to second. He will stop there, standing on the bag as Simpson got it in quickly, but that is a 2-out double. And Christofferson really turned on that 2-2 pitch. And Simpson had no chance but to play it off the hop on the wall. And so now there is a runner on at second with 2 away, and Cooper Schneider's got a chance to try and tie this game up in the top of the 3rd inning. Christofferson's got both hits, a single and a double. Schneider flew out to left field in the top of the 1st inning. Yates will get back to the top of the order in the bottom of the 3rd after O'Brien, the 9-man, leads off. Here's the first pitch. That one is over for strike 1. Schneider didn't necessarily agree with it. Count is 0-1. Christofferson got some speed on at second. And with 2 outs, you're off with contact. Anything through the infield, most likely going to score Christofferson. That will be popped up. Foul side, first baseman Terwilliger will make the catch and retire the side here in the top of the 3rd inning. So a 2-out double is left stranded. No runs, a hit, no errors, and another man left on base. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. A 1-0 lead for Pierre over Brookings. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Larry Fry Heating and Cooling has a new name. Kruger Climate Systems has acquired Larry Fry Heating and Cooling, but it's still the same great service. Your friend Larry Fry is still a manager, and his dedication to providing you with outstanding service remains unwavering. The same quality products and services you have come to expect from Larry Fry Heating and Cooling will continue under the new leadership of Kruger Climate Systems. You can still reach us at 605-224-9548 or email us at ryan@krugercontracting.com. Kruger Climate Systems, your certified Trane and Mitsubishi dealer in Central South Dakota.
Step up to the plate with Kathy Sunshine Properties in Pierre, your go-to for buying, selling, and finding your perfect home. Whether you're looking for a cozy cottage or a spacious family home, Kathy Sunshine Properties has you covered. We're committed to helping you make your next big move, on the field or in your life. Ready to find your dream home? Call Kathy Sunshine Properties at 605-224-5588. Your home run in real estate.
It is the bottom of the 3rd, the 1-0 lead on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard. 4 post 8, 9, 1, and 2. Parker O'Brien, Sunshine, and Dawson Getz to lead things off against Breck Wilson. Eights have 2 hits. The Bandits have 2 hits. A triple for Sunshine and a double for Charlie Simpson. Trey Christofferson, a single and a double for Brookings. He's been the only base runner through the first 11 guys that come to the plate for Brookings. Everybody else is 0 for 1. And Christofferson is 2 for 2. obviously Schneider also 0 for 2 as well. Well, this will be the getting all the way through the first time through the batting order for Post State. O'Brien, he will come to the plate, and again, first chance to swing the bat for the Senior Legion team. .218 batting average over the spring. It went 12 of 55 with a double and 10 runs driven in. And a guy that, again, he dealt with an injury last spring that kept him out at the end of the spring and really limited him to not being able to do much during the summertime either. But a guy that had a lot of varsity experience during the spring season this year, playing mostly third base as the first pitch is upstairs for ball 1 to O'Brien. Now second base here in at least the opening game of the 2025 summer. You'll see guys play different positions, move things around in the summertime. That was at the letters for a strike, and the count's 1-1. It is, again, the thing about the summer season is that a lot of guys play in a lot of different positions. The spring season, you have to start out on a good foot. Otherwise, you might get passed up. You might end up not playing very much. Here's a ground ball, right side, inside outside, bobbled by the second baseman in the outfield grass. O'Brien's going to be safe. The leadoff man is on base to kick off the bottom of the third. Probably be ruled and aired by the second baseman in Cooper Schneider. It's a tougher play for O'Brien, or for the second baseman Schneider to get O'Brien, but one that probably needs to be made and will result in an error, the first one of the day against Brookings. But here's now Sutton Sunshine, the leadoff man who tripled his first time to the plate. He will foul the first pitch back as he was trying to duck out of the way of it, along with trying to maybe pull the bat back, but he fouls it away. It might have actually got a little bit of the hand of Sun and Shine. Obviously, with him squaring away that, and getting a piece of it, it's still a foul ball, even if it hits him or hits his fingers. Now here's the 0-1 from Wilson. Pickoff attempt and diving back in safely is O'Brien over at first. And a couple of games, actually it was a doubleheader yesterday or the day before between Yankton and Huron. They split the two games. Sioux Falls West just beat Huron 10-0. Here's a ground ball that'll be up the middle. That'll be through for a base hit. O'Brien will stop at second. First and second is Sutton Sunshine got his second hit. He's 2 for 2. Leadoff spot has been good for both teams. A triple, double, and 2 singles between the two leadoff guys between Post States and Brookings. Here's Dawson Getz, who struck out swinging his first at-bat. First and second with nobody out here in the bottom of the third. And a big opportunity now here for the Eights. We extend this 1-0 lead. Getz will show bunt, pulls it back, taking it for strike 1 at the letters. Getz, Peterson, and then Twilliger. 2, 3, and 4 right now due up for the Eights. Go a long way in winning a baseball game right here if they can score runs with 2 on and nobody out. Getz again showing bunt. He'll pull that one back and taking it low for a ball. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. First baseman in Frederick is playing well in on the infield grass. He is expecting Getz to show bunt again. He is showing bunt, and then bunts it to the first base side. The tag will be applied by Frederick, and there will be no other play to be made. So Sun and Shine will move to second, and O'Brien's over at third. And there is now 1 down. And the sacrifice is good, 3 unassisted. And now it's 3, 4, and 5 here for Post State. Nolan Peterson softly flew out to the second baseman in the shallow right field. He's 0 for 1, but an RBI, big RBI opportunity here for Peterson. First pitch is over for strike 1 to Nolan Peterson. Nolan Peterson, 357 batting average last summer with runners in scoring position. That'll miss low, and the count's 1-1. At the team, they hit 277. And qualifying opportunities, only Carter Scheffelbein was better at 382 than what Peterson was at 357. So you'd like to see him come to the plate with runners in scoring position right now. 1-1 pitch. There's a ground ball that will be up the middle. That will score a run. Bobbled by the shortstop, but no play. A second error in the inning. Run does come in to score from O'Brien, and it's a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the third. 2 errors by Brookings here in this inning. And it brings up now Cooper Terwilliger. And I believe that Nolan Peterson still gets the RBI because the run was going to score regardless of the play being made. So an RBI, it's an error, but an RBI for Nolan Peterson, and it's first and third here with 1 away. In the bottom of the third inning. A 2-0 lead now here for the Eights. Cooper Terwilliger, he struck out swinging his first at bat. Runner takes off for a second to throw. Peterson is going to be gunned down at second. Actually, it was a courtesy run. Well, yeah, it was Peterson that is gunned down at second, and there is now 2 down. Didn't get much of a good jump there, did Peterson. The count's 0-1, and there's only a runner on third now with 2 outs. It was a great throw by the catcher, Bauer. Part of that, you can say, too, is the throw by Bauer put Anton around the base, and he was able to catch and wait for the tag to be applied. Make this a 2-0 count here to Terwilliger. That'll be above his head, and it's now a 3-0 count. On deck, Grayson Hunsley. The Eights want to add on to this. They don't want to just come away with 2 runs, or just 1 run, and have a 2-0 lead in this inning. 3-0 pitch taken all the way. That will be ball 4, and a 4-pitch walk to Terwilliger. And it's first and third with 2 away, and it brings up Grayson Hunsley. Hunsley popped out in foul territory to his counterparts, the third baseman Ruhr, in the lead off the bottom of the second. With Sun and Shine over at third. Terwilliger over at first. First pitch. Hunsley with a slow ground ball over to the second baseman. Schneider stays down on it. He'll make the play, and the throw to first will be in time to retire the side here in the bottom of the third inning. But a run does score with 1 hit in the inning. There are 2 errors and 2 men left on base. We have played 3 here at Hyatt Stadium in a 2-0 lead for Pierre over Brookings. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. AGE Corporation has been building South Dakota for over 60 years. For all your site work, construction, and crane needs, AGE is there for you. If you need a boat dock and dock lighting, AGE has what you need. Visit their website, agecorp.com, or give them a call at 223-2732. AGE Corporation, providing high-quality services without sacrificing safety. Visit agecorp.com or call 223-2732.
As community bankers, BankWest employees are deeply committed to supporting local causes, growing the local economy, and creating local opportunities. At a time when you can bank anywhere, we hope you choose BankWest. We'll be your financial partner for the long haul, helping you and your community achieve financial success. BankWest. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
It is the top of the fourth and a 2-0 lead on the American Family Insurance Printing Shuffleby scoreboard here for Post States, as it will be 3, 4, and 5. Jace Bauer, Winston Plummer, and Tyson Antonin. He might reach his base. It'll then go to Tane Frederick here in this 4th inning, as Will Danberg, the only guy that's been able to reach base so far has been the leadoff man, Trey Christopherson, who is 2 for 2. Everybody else is 0 for. No walks so far through 3 innings. He's retired. He had at one point retired 8 straight before Christopherson ended that streak. But he's retired everybody in the lineup consecutively other than Trey Christofferson. So he's going to be looking for another 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the fourth. This is game one. We have a doubleheader. We'll have game two following this one coming up here somewhere around 20 to 30 minutes after game one concludes. And then, as you were listening earlier, we had Women's College World Series, Oklahoma. They came back from that 3-1 deficit to beat Tennessee 4-3. And Tennessee had Oklahoma on the ropes. And if any familiar with women's softball, with the Women's College World Series, if you got Oklahoma beat, you got to beat them. Because the chances of them losing 2 games at the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City is already tough. You can't blow a 3-1 lead or just any lead against Oklahoma, and Tennessee didn't get the job done, so they move on. And we'll have coverage tomorrow night of elimination games, with the fact that the NBA and NHL conference finals last night between Minnesota and OKC, and then it was Carolina and Florida. Both those series ended, so there are no NBA or NHL games tomorrow night, so we'll have 2 college softball games for you tomorrow night on KCCR. First pitch is over for a strike one. As time permits, we'll at least have post-game coverage, but we'll try and get you out to New York for the end of the Pacers and Knicks game of Game 5 after we're done here tonight with the doubleheader, as that pitch will miss low and the count's 1-1. We do know next Thursday is Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and with our games being so early in the day, late morning and early afternoon, we have no problem of getting full coverage of the NBA Finals Game 1. Here's 1-1 pitch. Be missing inside, and the count's 2-1 here to Jace Bauer, who ground out to the second baseman O'Brien in his first at-bats. Here leading off now the top of the fourth. 2-1 from Danberg. That one's ripped down the third base line, but that is foul. Coach Roach had 0 movement to it, and that ball will work its way back into fair territory, so Reg Leinbach will go out to the warning track to pick it up. Before the 2-2 can come through from Danberg. Danberg peers in for the sign, and from the windup delivers a 2-2 pitch that'll bounce in. The count's 3-2. I mentioned this in the pregame that 3 years ago we opened the season in Brookings, and it was very, very cold to start the summer season. Everybody was bundled up. In the press box, I was still in a hoodie, because even this year, if you had made the trip to Brookings for this spring season, as that'll be taken for strike 3, and that'll be the third strikeout for Danberg. There's one down to kick off the top of the fourth, and it'll bring up Winston Plummer. The spring season, that game was cold in Brookings, but I was in the press box without a hoodie on. It was impossible to be that way 3 years ago during the first game of the summer season, as it'll miss outside for ball 1. And that is the first and only time I've ever been to a summer baseball game where I was cold. But it was at the end of May, right around the 31st, and it was a cold start to the year. That one's over for a strike. The count's 1-1 here to Winston Plummer, who lined out to the center fielder Porter Hunsley. And a ball that I don't think started to slow down until it got close to Hunsley's glove. I mean, that thing was on a hard line out towards center. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That'll miss outside. The count's 2-1. So it is much better to have a really nice afternoon to start the summer. Really nice evening out here at Hyde Stadium. As you are listening to KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront Broadcasting Station, just past 6 o'clock now. Here's a sharp line drive into left field for a base hit. Plummer is now 1 for 2, and the first man not named Trey Christofferson to get a base hit and be a base runner for Brookings here in game 1. So no 1-2-3 inning for Will Danberg. Now Tyson Antonin, who struck out swinging in his first at bat, will come to the plate as a chance still for a double play to get you out of the inning. Won't be a routine 1-2-3 inning or be an unorthodox 1-2-3 inning. Face the minimum. You get reduce a ground ball. Here is a ground ball to O'Brien. He'll turn, throw to second, gets to fire to first. There's your double play, 4-6-3, just how you draw it up. And they get you out of the inning in just one pitch. No runs, a hit, no errors, and no one left on base. We head to the bottom of the fourth. A 2-0 lead for Pierre over Brookings. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Are you a farmer in the Highmore area? Do you need a trusted partner for your grain and agronomy needs? Look no further than AgTegra. AgTegra is built on a legacy of farmer-owned cooperatives, providing superior service and relentless innovation for generations. We're committed to your success and the safety of our employees and members. For your grain needs, call Chance Scott at 605-846-1099. And for all your agronomy needs, reach out to Cole Hamlin at 605-871-9572. AgTegra, growing together for generations.
Hello, I'm Pastor Jeff Lathrop of Pierre First United Methodist Church, and I'd like to invite you to join us in person for worship on Sunday mornings at 8:30 a.m. or 11 a.m. You can also join us on Facebook Live or on KCCR 1240 a.m. or 98.9 FM for our Sunday morning broadcast at 11 a.m. Come worship with us at First United Methodist Church, where you will find open hearts, open minds, and open doors.
Bottom of the fourth, 2-0 on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard. And it is for Post 8s, 6, 7, 8, Rich Leimbach, Charlie Simpson, Porter Hunsley. He might reach his base. Parker O'Brien, who helped start that 4-6-3 double play. And a really good turn. O'Brien played primarily third base, and actually I think he exclusively played third base during the regular season, during the spring season. And so a transition back to second. I'm sure he played second at some point, through Little League, all that stuff, growing up. But to really turn that double play as a second baseman, he had to move to his left, and he had to turn and make a good throw to the second base bag where Getz was at to start that turn. It's a lot easier to move to your left, make the play, and then throw to second base when you're at third, when you're the third base position. But to be at second base, it was a really good footwork there by O'Brien to make that play to start the double play. And an excellent defensive play for the Eights to get out of that inning after the one-out single. Leimbach will foul the first pitch over to the third base dugout for strike one. This is the second year for Coach River Iverson to be the manager of Post 8. He was assistant, it'll be 3 years ago, and Brian White's last year as the manager. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is upstairs, and it counts 1-1. Had a chance to talk to him a little bit before, back on Tuesday, and obviously you heard from him if you got the morning show on KCCR or checked out the story on kccrradio.com. Here's the 1-1 pitch. This will be popped foul by Leimbach. He's down the count 1-2. But when we were talking about this group, he said, too, just the difference that he could see from the first practice last summer to the first practice this summer, and just how much better these guys have been and how young they still are. Even though they are that much better, we got to remember that they're still a young team. Obviously, Leimbach and Simpson are both seniors, the first two guys in the batting order. But, it goes from super seniors, couple super seniors, couple seniors, to then being sophomores. Here's a line shot right to the second baseman, and Schneider will make the catch just to his left, and there is one down here in the bottom of the fourth. And we'll bring up Charlie Simpson, who doubled in his first at-bat. And, Simpson, a guy, that worked his way in the lineup in the spring last year and was a staple of the Post 8 last summer, and just adds on to being a better baseball player and, having the experience and working through that summer. Post 8 didn't win a lot of games last year, just 10 wins. They've had 19 wins over the last 2 summers. But these guys that are coming back, the bats that they have, you just see the confidence. The game slows down for them as they get a year older and what we've seen from these seniors and, even the super seniors, that the game will be a lot slower for them this year than it was last year. As Simpson will foul this one out of play, and the count's 1-2. And, the cliche of growing pains was very much true, and obviously we're game one, and the expectations of winning more than 10 games obviously are there, and we expect Post State to win a lot of baseball games this summer. We're not saying that they're going to win the state championship, and here's a ground ball to the shortstop. Antonin will field, and there's now 2 down. But we're not putting that out of the realm of possibility, where it was going to take a heck of a run for Post State to get to the state tournament, to be able to then compete at the state tournament. This year, it feels like that's a real possibility and kind of expected from these guys, that they can go and compete at the state tournament here in 2025. And that's the excitement of what this summer will bring for what the Eights are able to do, as this one will be missing low for ball 1 to Porter Hunsley. Again, a lot of these guys with sun and shine. You have Terwilliger, Hunsley, who obviously, and O'Brien, who did not play last summer, but these guys are rising juniors that are playing their second year of summer baseball, and some of these guys that are playing their first year got a lot of varsity playing time. Porter Hunsley being one of those guys that got a lot of playing time during the spring. Here's a 2-0 pitch from Wilson. That is upstairs, and the count's now 3-0. And then on top of that, you keep a lot of guys. You could see the team get better as the year went on in 2023 and got to the end of the season. They went to post 22 as a 3-0 is at the knees for a strike, and they went to post 22 and gave the Hard Hats everything that they could handle for them to get to the state tournament. Then last year, you kind of had to start back over, and then Post State was playing their best baseball at the end, and Watertown, who had a lot of college baseball players, as the count's now full, they still have a lot of college baseball players on the spring team this year too, but took them everything for Watertown to advance to the state tournament. So Pierre was 2 tough outs in a row, but barely had, they had a lot of turnover from each of those 2 years. That'll be outside after a 3-0 count. It worked to 3-2, and then Hunsley is able to still draw a walk. And there's now a runner on first with 2 away for Parker O'Brien. He reached on an error in his first trip to the plate as he grounded to the second baseman and Schneider, who couldn't make the play. Pick-off attempt, and Hunsley standing at the bag at second. Or make that first, excuse me. Still standing at the bag at first without a play. O'Brien digs in. First pitch from Wilson. He'll foul that one back. A little slide step there from Brock Wilson. Counts 0-1 here to Parker O'Brien at the top of the order in Sutton Sun and Shine. See if they can get to the top of the order here in the bottom of the 4th inning. I think the one exciting game, and obviously all the South Dakota games are very exciting because they mean a lot, and not that there's not any exciting baseball games, but really looking forward to next week, Friday, when the Eights are at the Veterans Classic. They'll play the 2 games Thursday morning, first 2 games of the tournament. Then they'll play Friday night in Rapid City against Post 22 on their home field. A Friday night game. Be a big crowd. Expect a big crowd there with the Veterans Classic to begin with, and Post 22 draws a good crowd, especially on a Friday night game. That'll be a really good test and a really fun game for Post State, especially if you get a win against Post 22 on their home field on a Friday night. That will tell you a lot of it won't tell you everything, but if Post 8 goes and competes against 22 on that Friday night and comes away with a win, 1-run loss, whatever it is, that can tell you a lot about how good this team can be this summer. 2-1 pitch is outside, and the count's 3-1. Of course, it is always fun to go play out in Rapid City. Post 320 has got a good field. Post 22, obviously the all-turf field. Get a chance, though, to be the 5 games, the 4 games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then the 1 game on Sunday. Those 5 games will be the only time that we're out there. That one will be taken for a strike on the 3-1 pitch. So full count here to O'Brien. Hunsley will be off of the pitch, making sure that Wilson goes home first. So somewhere down the lines or in the gap, Hunsley could score from first. 3-2 from Wilson to O'Brien. That'll miss for ball 4. Back-to-back walks with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and allows Sutton Sunshine a chance to hit. He's already 2 for 2 so far, and there'll be a quick mound visit from the assistant coach of Brookings. First and second with 2 away. And a guy that's 2 for 2, he's got 2 of the 3 hits. Coming to the plate in Sutton Sunshine. Tripled in the first and came in to score, then singled in the bottom of the 3rd inning. He was left stranded over at third base, but now another runner in scoring position here for the Eights in the bottom of the 4th inning. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Sunshine after the mound visit. Chance to extend this 2-0 lead for the Eights. Leading away from second is Hunsley. O'Brien over at first. Here's the first pitch to Sunshine. Taken for strike 1. Started off speed. And I think that was probably somewhat of the game plan that's talking about. We're going to try and maybe keep Sunshine off balance, not work a fastball to him, make him hit a off-speed pitch after going 2 for 2. That'll miss low, and the count's 1-1. This is the top of the order for the Eights. Big spot here in the bottom of the 4th. 1 run in the first and another run in the 3rd. 1-1. That'll bounce. That'll get to the right of the catcher in Bauer. And it's now 2nd and 3rd with 2 away, and a base hit could score 2 runs and a 2-1 count. Now you get an open base to try and work around Sunshine. Gets his 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a sac bunt. Deep out in left field from Jay Harris. A little floater could drop in. That'll be above the head of Sunshine. The count's now 3-1 and a good hitter's count here to leadoff man. Base hit will most likely score 2. 3-1 from Wilson. Misses for ball 4 and 3 straight walks now. So the bases are loaded. Dawson gets to the plate with 2 outs. He struck out swinging in the first. Sac bunt in the bottom of the 3rd. Breck Wilson will come set from the stretch. With the bases loaded, delivers the first pitch to Getz. As at the letters on the inside corner for a strike. Best opportunity for the Eights to get a crooked numbers right here. After 3 straight walks, 0-1 pitch. That's above the letters. Counts 1-1. No activity out in the left field bullpen right now for Brookings. Obviously with a 0 spot for the Eights, no activity for Danberg out in right field. This will be popped foul out of play, and the count's 1-2 now to Getz. And after 3 straight walks, Wilson is a pitch away from getting out of this inning unscathed. He's done this to himself, but he's a pitch away from getting out of it himself. Here's the 1-2 now from the windup from Wilson. Getz will fly this out towards right center field. Backing up is Schneider. The second baseman will make the catch and will retire the side here in the bottom of the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 3 men left on base. Halfway home here in Game 1, a 2-0 lead for Pierre over Brookings. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
When you're in town for the big game, Why not stay where the view is just as great as the action? American and Fort Pierre sits right on the river, offering beautiful scenery, relaxing comfort, and easy access to the ballpark. After a day at the Diamond, there's nothing better than unwinding by the water, and the American always hits it out of the park. Stay by the river. Stay in comfort. Call 605-223-2358 to book your room today. American, where the river meets relaxation. Step up to the plate with Overhead Door Company of Pierre. Like your favorite team, we deliver reliability, strength, and top-notch performance. For over 100 years, Overhead Door has been the most respected name in the industry. From commercial or residential repairs to full upgrades, our team of technicians stand ready to provide winning results. Don't let a faulty garage door strike you out. Look for the signature red ribbon and call the industry MVP at 605-224-6200. Bring your garage door game to the big leagues.
Top of the fifth, 2-0 lead for Pierre over Brookings, the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebind scoreboard. It will be 6, 7, and 8. Tane Frederick, Kyson Ruhr, and Maxon Jensen, the first three hitters. There is now activity out in the left field bullpen for Brookings. As trying to see the number right now, who it might be. It will be number 9, and that is Cooper Schneider. That is warming up out in left field for Brookings. So might be seeing our first pitching change coming up in the bottom of the fifth inning, but we are here in the top of the fifth, and it's still, even with the 3 walks that were given up, and that was now 4 walks in total by Breck Wilson, he still has his team a shot to win a ball game. I mean, the amount of base runners that Pierre has had compared to the amount of base runners that Brookings has had, a 2-0 lead for Post 8 is more in favor of the Bandits right now. And the Eights have stranded 6 runners through 3 innings, where there's only been 3 base runners in total in 4 innings for Brookings. With 2 hits from Terry Christopherson, and then Winston Plummer had a single, then got retired from a ground out to double play. But they're top of the fifth, and Tane Frederick leading things off. 3 strikeouts so far for Will Danberg. Frederick is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He struck out looking in his first at-bat. First pitch is over for strike 1. Frederick with 320 during the spring season. 6 doubles. Does have one of the 2 home runs hit by Brookings and 17 runs driven in. This will miss inside. The count's 1-1. Frederick last year hit 233 during the summer, with just 7 of 30. This will miss low, and the count's 2-1 here to Frederick to lead things off. And again, Cooper Schneider warming up out in the left field bullpen. Winston Plummer, the DH, and with the pitcher, Breck Wilson, if Schneider comes in, this will be hitting Frederick, and it will be leadoff man on here to kick off the top of the 5th inning. And the first free pass given by Will Danberg, as Ruhr will come to the plates. But if Schneider comes into the game, that means either Wilson will have to stay in or Plummer will have to come in, and you'll end up losing the DH one way or the other if Schneider's the one that comes to take the place of Wilson on the mound. Here's the first pitch from Danberg. That'll be flown out to right field. Simpson will back up to make the catch, retiring Ruhr. And there's one down here at the top of the 5th inning, and retreating back to first is Frederick, and it'll bring up Maxon Jensen. A 1 on and 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Coach Roach going through a lot of signs to see if maybe Jensen will be bunting. Hunsley is creeping in a little bit over at third base. He's right at the edge of the infield grass. In front of the bag is the first pitch. That will get to the backstop, so need to either bunt or steal. And the second will go Frederick, and it'll bring up a runner on at second now with one away here at the top of the 5th inning. So runner in square position here for Brookings with less than 2 outs. Now Terwilliger will move in. Hunsley backs up a couple steps over at third. Pitch, that one's lined up the middle. That'll be a base hit. Hunsley will field out in center. They will hold the runner over at third, and a good job by Porter Hunsley to get the ball in quickly. But a single from Jensen moves the runner over to third, first and third with one away, and it brings up Jay Harris, number 9 man in the batting order. And now it's a big spot here for Post States. You can get another ground ball to get you out of the inning. But with a 2-0 lead, you're looking at possibly then trading it out for a run. Although that's not the worst thing, you still keep the lead. We'll see what Brookings wants to do with first and third. If they're going to try and maybe take the runner off to second. Nobody moves this time. The ground ball over to third. Hunsley looks the runner back, does not throw it to second. They do get the force out at first, but it does move the runner over to second. That wasn't maybe quite tailor-made for a double play, but had a possibility of maybe turning 2 to get out of the inning. They do get 1 out for sure. The runner does not score, so there still is 2 outs. But now it's Trey Christofferson, who is 2 for 2 so far. A single and a double for Christofferson. And a base hit could tie the game up all of a sudden. Here's the first pitch from Danberg to Christofferson. That's over for strike 1. It's a big first pitch strike to get ahead of Christofferson, who has seen and hit the ball well in his first 2 trips to the plate. Danberg working from the windup. He'll deliver the 0-1 pitch. That one is at the letters for a strike. A little head tilt from Christofferson, but he is down 0-2 in the count. There's a high curveball, off-speed pitch. Do you stay high with a fastball, or do you maybe throw one in the dirt and get sun and shine to block it up? 0-2 pitch. That one comes low, just below the knees for ball 1. Didn't get to the dirt, but it just missed the bottom of the strike zone. Now we'll see what wants to come from the 1-2 pitch from Danberg. Time is called by Christofferson. And that's a 2-strike pitch that pretty close to not wanting to take. Good vision of Christofferson, saw it be ball 1. Here's now the 1-2 from Danberg. That's a curveball. He definitely swung. The home plate umpire, they got to pick up the ball because the umpire did not say he swung. He definitely swung, and they have to check him, right? You got to check him. We want to ask the appeal from the home plate umpire, and he's not even asking for an appeal to see. Christofferson clearly turned and went through the zone, and that should have been strike 3, but not even a check over to the base umpire. I know he's not in the best position, but he would have clearly saw that he swung. 2-2 pitch, that will be taken for a strike 3, and it is all it matters is just 1 extra pitch from Danberg. He does strike out Christofferson, and it ends the top of the 5th inning. So they do get out of danger. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the 5th. It is a 2-0 lead for Pierre over Brookings. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Is your roof ready for the next South Dakota storm? Don't wait till it's too late. For over 25 years, Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction has been serving Central South Dakota with quality roofing and construction. He has now added gutters. We offer dependable service, guaranteed workmanship, and no unnecessary flash or fuss. Just reliable protection for your home. Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction. Experience you can trust. Call today, 605-280-8133. Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction, serving Central South Dakota for over 25 years. Look, it's no secret that owning a vehicle can cause a lot of stress, and they get a lot of wear and tear on them through the extreme seasons we've grown to love. Graham Tire wants you to know that you can trust them with any problem that you have with your vehicle. Their ASE certified mechanics can make your AC cool again, or even just change your oil. They can look into and fix those noises that seem to come from nowhere and have you stressed out. Bring your car to Graham Tire so they can put your mind at ease. Graham Tire, your tire store next door.
Bottom of the fifth, it is a 2-0 lead. American Family Insurance, Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard for the Eights, as it will be 3, 4, and 5. Nolan Peterson, Cooper Twilger, and Grayson Hunsley. It is Cooper Schneider that is now on the mound for the Brookings Bandits. So he takes over in place of Breck Wilson after 4 innings for Wilson in his season debut. We'll try and get you a full total of what Breck Wilson had. But it is, let's see here if we can see who's on second as well. It will be looking like number 17 and Jace Bauer. That will move over to second, which then would be leading to the catcher. Not able to tell the number for the Brookings Bandits. Actually be number 17 out there at second base. As it will be, though, Cooper Schneider for sure on the mound. And he will deal with 3, 4, and 5 to get us rolling here in the bottom of the fifth inning. And it is Bauer that's on at second now. We'll check with the Bandits game changer to see exactly who is now at second base. But Cooper Schneider, again, this will be his Senior Legion debut on the mound. He threw 12 innings in relief appearances, 6 relief appearances. Nolan Peterson will ground the first pitch over the shortstop, fielded by the shortstop in Antonin, and he will fire to first, 1 pitch and 1 out here in the bottom of the fifth. And it will bring up now the number 4 hitter in Cooper Twilger. First pitch will miss for ball 1 to Terwilliger, who is 0 for 1 with a strikeout, and he also drew a walk. And then this will be popped foul, and it'll get to the left of the press box. The count's now 1-1. Well, they have not changed what Breck Wilson leaving the mound, as this will be flown out towards right field, and that will get past the right fielder in Jensen and rolls all the way out to the wall. Rounding second is Terwilliger. He's looking for a triple. He's going to be there standing up. He'll slide in with a 1-out triple for Cooper Terwilliger. And it is another extra base hit, 3rd of the game for Post State. And Grayson Hunsley now to the plate. So Hunsley now has an opportunity to drive in a run. So a triple for Terwilliger. Hunsley first pitch, ground ball to the second baseman. They can't score Terwilliger, as Bauer will make the play and will retire Hunsley for the second out. And it will now bring up Rich Leimbach. Leimbach is 0 for 2. So Rich Leimbach an opportunity to drive in the run. This would be a big insurance run here for the Eights. For a 1-out triple. First pitch, that is fouled off the catcher. And there's strike 1. Again, it'll be looking at the Brookings game changer, but they have not changed the pitcher out. But the catcher being checked on. Making sure that he is okay. There are 2 outs and a runner on at third. And that'll miss in the dirt for a ball, and the count's 1-1. And there's Max Jensen that is behind the plate, and Anderson now is out in right field. That'll miss inside, the count's 2-1. So Jensen goes behind the plate from right field. Anderson in the game, as this will miss low for ball 3 to Ridge Linebach, and the count's now 3-1. Breck Wilson threw 4 innings, giving up 4 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of them earned. He had 4 walks and 2 strikeouts. This will bounce in for ball 4, and Linebach was already on his way to first base before the ball crossed the plate, as he draws the 2-out walk to extend the inning to Charlie Simpson, who is 1 for 2 with a double. Wilson threw 83 pitches, so he is ineligible to pitch for 4 days. He's got max 4 days rest. 76 pitches for Will Danberg so far through 5 innings. So with 29 pitches to work with, if he's relatively efficient in the 6th inning, he has a chance to maybe go for the distance in game 1. Simpson digs in first and third with 2 away. First pitch is over for strike 1. He doubled in his first at bat with 2 outs in the bottom of the 2nd. Ground out to the shortstop in the bottom of the 4th. 1 for 2 for Simpson. Here's a hard ground ball. That is going to be fielded by the first baseman. Stabbing at it was Frederick to make the play and retire the side. And it keeps the Aids from adding on to their 2-0 lead. No runs, hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We head to the top of the 6th. Still a 2-0 lead for Pierre over Brookings. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Whether you're a first-time buyer looking for a home of your own, or you have an eye on an investment property, First Fidelity Bank has the right mortgage for you. From a vacation home to building your dream house from the ground up. So stop by and get your mortgage loan from us. First Fidelity Bank. First-class banking on a first-name basis. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Online at ffb-sd.com.
Want technology solutions you can trust from a neighbor you know? Comtech, locally owned and serving Pierre and surrounding area since 2009, is dedicated to keeping your home, farm, and business connected and secure. We offer a full range of services, from audio and video, security, surveillance, and networking with expert installation and support. Visit our storefront, call us at 605-224-4066, or visit our website, comtechplus.com, to experience the Comtech difference. Comtech, your local technology experts.
Top of the 6th, it is 2, 3, and 4 for the Bandits. Cooper Schneider will lead things off. Jace Bauer, and then Ryder Anderson will hit in Winston Plummer's spot in that DH spot, which is no longer there for the rest of the game, as Anderson came in when Schneider went to the mound. As he moved to right field, they had 3 different moves defensively. As Anderson is in right, Bauer went from the catcher to second, Jensen went from right to catching, and then Schneider went from the second base to the mound. Will Danberg with 76 pitches. He's got 29 to work with before he'd have to be removed. And again, like I said, if he's relatively efficient in this top of the 6th inning, he's got a chance to go the distance in game 1 of the season, which then, again, anytime you can get a really strong outing from your starting pitcher and limit your bullpen, especially in game 1, but just in general of a tough stretch, as this will be up the middle for a base hit, first pitch swinging for Schneider. And leadoff man is on base to kick off the top of the 6th inning. But if you can do that, all of a sudden things get a little bit easier for Coach Iverson in trying to manage things. Next weekend will be more of a tough test because you've got those 5 games in 4 days. Now, There'll be times where you're probably playing 6 games in a span of 4 or 5 days, just because of double headers. But overall, next weekend becomes a little bit more of a challenge for Coach Iverson to try and figure out how he's going to manage his pitchers. Runner takes off, the throw to second. The tag will not be applied in time. Sunshine just couldn't quite get it there in time to O'Brien. And it was a stolen base for Schneider. And an 0-1 count now to the number 3 man and Jace Bauer. They're trying to manufacture some runs, get guys moving. This is a big top of the 6th inning. Here's the 0-1 from Danberg. That'll bounce in. Good block there from Sunshine. That was a huge block. A pitch that missed low. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. You start thinking about where you're going to go with on the mound. Rich is the DH, Nolan Peterson. He could come in and play the field somewhere, whether it be behind the plate or maybe be at second base or whatever it might be. You can move guys around in different spots depending on who you're going to have come in and pitch. So that DH and Peterson is a good defensive guy as well. Count is 2-1 now to Jace Bauer. Again, no activity out in the right field bullpen for Coach Iverson. That'll come inside, and the count's now 3-1. Only one free pass so far from Danberg. It was a hit batter. Frederick got hit to lead off the top of the 5th inning. It's the only free pass that's been given up by Danberg so far. This will be a grounded foul off the foot of Bauer. And it's a full count. Here is the 3-2 pitch from Danberg to Bauer. That one's fouled back, and it remains a full count. That went off the bricks and goes into fair territory. So another pitch upcoming here to Bauer, and the longer this is extended out in the at-bat, the tougher it is for Danberg to try and go the distance. But right now you're just worried about getting through the 6th inning, getting this guy out. Ryder Anderson is waiting on deck. Here's a ground ball over to the third baseman, Hunsley. Nice hop over to him. He looks the runner back to second. Good play there from Grayson Hunsley. Retires Bauer. There's 2 down, and the runner, or make that 1 down, and the runner has to stay at second.
Right fielder, number 34, Ryder Anderson.
So now the lefty Anderson will get his first at bat, but back to Hunsley's play. Kept the runner over at second, and Schneider able to make a strong throw over to Terwilliger and keeping that runner at second base. If he doesn't look him back, Schneider is over 90 feet away from scoring. Anderson will take strike 1 on an off-speed pitch. Ryder Anderson during the spring at 118 batting average, 2 of 17, 2 runs driven in. Did not play last summer for the Senior Legion squad, so this is his first Senior Legion at-bats. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Here's a ground ball over to the right side. Diving O'Brien off of his glove into shallow right field. That will score a run. It'll be an RBI single for Ryder Anderson to make it a 2-1 game here at the top of the 6th inning. And a really tough play for O'Brien. Almost was able to make that play. The way that Schneider rounded third, he probably was going to try and score even if O'Brien had made the diving stop. But it turns into an RBI single for Anderson. 2-1 our score now. The American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard. And Coach Iverson making a mound visit here to talk with Will Danberg. Sunshine joins them. Trying to maybe slow down Danberg a little bit, maybe catch his breath. Because you're still just a ground ball away from getting out of the inning. But now the tying run is on at first base with one out here in the top of the 6th inning. Tyson Antonin is 0 for 2. He grounded into the inning-ending double play back in the top of the 4th inning. Struck out swinging as well. So he is 0 for 2 so far in this ball game. First pitch from Danberg. That one will miss high for ball 1. Again, no activity out in the right field bullpen. Makes you feel like whoever is coming in the ball game is in the game right now. Here's the 1-0 from Danberg. That one just misses outside. Counts now 2-0. Frederick on deck, then Ruhr, and then Jensen. Possibly a take sign maybe given from Coach Roach. 2-0 pitch. That one's at the letters for a strike, and the count's now 2-1. Infield's looking for a ground ball. They can try and turn 2 to get out of this inning. Keep this 1-run lead now for the Eights. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball up the middle. O'Brien, underhand flips, gets to first. And it's not going to be dug out by Terwilliger, and it will get over towards the fence. The throw will go to seconds from Sonnenschein, and 2 second will go for Antonin, and it turns into a fielder's choice and an error with 2 outs now in the inning, and that tying run is in scoring position. Almost had that 4-6-3 double play again. And it will be an air charge to Dawson Getz on the throw, with Antonin making his way to second. If Antonin had stayed at first, there would be no air charge, but that is the first error of the ball game from the Eights to allow that run to get from first to runner from first to second. First pitch is at the letters for strike 1 to Tane Frederick, who is 0 for 1, struck out looking in the second and was hit by a pitch in the 5th. Base hit could tie the game up here in the top of the 6th inning. Here's the 0-1 from Danberg. And a fly ball to center field. Hunsley going over, dives, but he can't make the catch. It'll get all the way out to the track. Frederick will make his way to second. He's got an RBI double to tie the game at 2 here at the top of the 6th inning. Hunsley just couldn't quite track that down. And Frederick and Andon switch spots. The 2-2 tie here in the top of the 6th inning. And he'll bring up Kason Ruhr, and that will end the day for Will Danberg as well, as he will go 5 2/3, 1 pitch away from getting through 6 complete and keeping the lead for Post-State. But it is a 2-2 tie as we head to still in the top of the 6th, but head with a pitching change. It looks like Ridge Leinbach will be the man to come into the game. We'll tell you the changes coming up after this 1-minute break. You're listening to Post-State Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Hey, yo, Speedo's Lawn Care.
Hello. Say, my yard's in rough shape. It's got weeds, brown spots, and crabgrass.
Yeah, no problemo. What shade of green you need? We got 31 shades of green over here. Even the latest shade of septic tank grass green. That one just naturally gives off a glow.
Call the professionals at True Green. They know how to get your lawn healthy and keep it healthy. They guarantee it. All technicians are trained and certified.
Call True Green, 224-1916.
When you're looking for quality trash pickup services, look no further than Envirotech. 6 days a week, their trucks are on the road picking up trash, even holidays. They're also the place to contact for recycling services. Their friendly, professional staff is ready to assist with weekly pickups or even special pickups. Check out the website at envirotechwaste.com. Envirotech is locally operated. Call 224-4804. Envirotech Waste Services in Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
So Ridge Leinbach will go to the mound to try and keep this a 2-2 tie. And for Leinbach, this will be his first appearance in the Legion season since the 2023 year. And Rounds will move to center with Porter Hunsley moving over to left. So Trevor Rounds in the ball game, and that will take the place of Nolan Peterson. And so Peterson's spot, which was due up fifth in the inning in the sixth, it will be now Trevor Rounds occupying that spot. So Rounds make that Hunsley in left, Porter Hunsley in left, and Trevor Rounds in center. And so now it's Rich Leinbach to try and keep this ball game at a 2-2 tie. 5 2/3 for Will Danberg. You can't close the book quite yet for him, but he gave up 7 hits in those 5 2/3. 2 runs, 1 of them earned, with 4 strikeouts. No walks, 4 strikeouts. But he is responsible for the runner on at second base. Here with 2 outs to the top of the 6th inning, and both runs for the Bandits have scored in this inning. Rich Leinbach, during the spring season, he had the second most, or time for the most starts with 6, 34 2/3 innings, which was second most innings on the team. 3 2 overall in the season, 13 hits, 16 runs, 11 earned, 20 walks, 64 strikeouts, an ERA at 2.22, a whip at 0.95, and a batting average against at 112. And so Leinbach was very, very good all season from the mound, and he's looking to try and keep this a 2-2 tie, get the Eights the lead in the bottom of the 6th inning, and close it out in the 7th. But all of a sudden, after the Eights have been the better team for the first 5 innings, it's not the case anymore. It's 2-2 game, and again, one inning can change everything. And right now, the Eights are in danger of giving up this lead, or going down. They've already given up the lead, but in danger of going down. First pitch from Leinbach, right down the middle for strike 1. This is Kyson Ruhr, who is 0 for 2, ground out to the third baseman Hunsley in the 2nd, flew out to the right fielder Simpson in the 5th inning. Curveball that's taken for a strike, and Ruhr went no part of that. He was ducking out of the way, and it dropped in for a strike. So Leinbach's already 2 pitches in and got an 0-2 count, and as we're guessing what's coming up next, 0-2 pitch, that'll bounce in. Good block there from Hunsley. Make that from Sunshine, and the count's now 1-2. Make that rounds out in left, and Hunsley is in center. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Taken for strike 3, and that will retire the side. 3 pitches, make that 4 pitches from Leinbach to get out of the inning, but 2 runs do score in the inning on 2 hits, make that 3 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning, a 2-2 tie between Pierre and Brookings. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
When life throws you a curveball, May Adam Law Firm in Pierre is here to help you knock it out of the park. For over 130 years, we've been providing trusted legal expertise in business, family law, criminal defense, and more. Proud sponsors of this season's baseball action, we're committed to serving our community both on and off the field. Need legal advice? Step up to the plate with May Adam Law Firm. Visit mayadam.net or call today. May Adam, South Dakota's law firm since 1881.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back, the sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good, solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dreams. With plans that could save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. American Family Insurance.
Visit mfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Contact the Brittany Shufflebind Agency, LLC, 224-6627. Bottom of the 6th, 2-2 now on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebind scoreboard. And it is 8-9-1. Porter Hunsley, Parker O'Brien, and Sutton Sunshine. Anybody reaches base, Dawson Getz will get a chance to swing the bat, and then Trevor Rounds will have his first chance to swing the bat here this summer. This is a opportunity for the Eights. They've got to cash in here. They've stranded so far 8 runners on base compared to the 5 that have been left on through 6 innings for Brookings. You know, nobody was stranded in the first inning when they scored a run, but they've stranded at least 2 runners in the last 3 innings and scored just 1 run in those 3 innings. So Porter Hunsley, who is 0 for 1, he flew out to left and walked in the 4th. He'll lead things off, the number 8 man of the batting order, against Cooper Schneider into his 2nd inning of work. First pitch will catch the outside edge for strike 1. And this is game 1 of our doubleheader. Game 2 will follow around 20 to 30 minutes after we get done with game 1. And Hunsley will sky this one up beyond the second base bag, a step into the outfield grass, and the shortstop Antonin will make the catch, and the leadoff man retired here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and it will bring up now the number 9 man in Parker O'Brien. O'Brien's been on base twice. He reached on an error in the bottom of the 3rd, and then he walked in the 4th. He did score in the 3rd inning. It was the unearned run that was allowed by Breck Wilson. Over for strike 1 to O'Brien. So pretty much, you know, there's not much difference to the stat line for Wilson and Danberg. Danberg finishes at 5 2/3 innings. He gave up 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 of them earned. No walks and 4 strikeouts. He hit just 1 guy. It was 4 walks for Breck Wilson. He had 2 strikeouts. He gave up 4 hits in 4 innings. So both starters did their job when they left with an opportunity to give their team a chance to win the ball game. And both will not factor into the first decision of the year. As it counts 2-1 here to O'Brien. 2-1 pitch. That'll miss low, and it's now a 3-1 count here to O'Brien. Top of the order is due up next. You get Sunshine and then Dawson Getz. 3-1. That'll miss for ball 4, and it will be a second time that O'Brien's been walked. Sunshine to the plate now, top of the order for the Eights. He's been on base all 3 times. Tripled in the 1st, singled in the 3rd, and walked in the 4th. Tripled the lead off the bottom of the 1st inning and scored on a wild pitch. Peterson's got the only RBI. It was somewhat of a fielder's choice. There was a shown bunt. Taking it back and taking it for strike 1 was Sunshine. One of those rare plays where the error was made for against Peterson on the throw that still was scoring the runner anyway. So even though he reached on the air, he still gets the RBI. Most of the time that turns into not getting an RBI. But the run was going to score regardless of the play being made or not, as it counts 0-2 now to Sunshine. 0-2 is ripped into left field for a base hit. The first and second with 1 away, as O'Brien will pull up at second base. 3 for 3 first game for Sunshine. And it's now Dawson Getz with runners at first and second and 1 out. And Coach Roach will make his way out. Well, we have another pitching change here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Getz had a sacrifice bunt back in the 3rd inning, but with 1 out in first and second here in the bottom of the 6th, you're probably not looking at a bunt from Getz at this point. Trevor Rounds is the man that will be on deck, as he will swing the bat for the first time this summer. And we'll see, we're going to just change gloves here. We're not actually, we are making a pitching change. So we will have a pitching change. We'll tell you about this change coming up here in just a moment. Back in a minute, you're listening to Post-State Baseball on KCCR. Watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Looking for your next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up all online. New or used, shop for it all online anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
No one likes to have electrical problems, but when they happen, call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. With over 28 years of experience, Todd's Electric can handle any type of electrical problem, whether it's residential, commercial, or agricultural. Their knowledgeable staff knows and understands the importance of your home, business, or ag facility and are prepared to help. Call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. That's 223-2518. Todd's Electric, serving the Pierre and Fort Pierre areas. The line to power.
So it's Tyson Antonin now on the mound for Brookings as he deals with first and second and one out here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Cooper Schneider threw just 22 pitches. He is responsible for the two guys that are on base at first and second and one away. Real quick to close the book on Danberg as well, he threw 92 pitches, so he would be available to throw. He will be available to throw again on Tuesday against Sioux Falls East if they elect to throw him, but he certainly will be available for the Veterans Classic that'll be coming up next weekend, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, as Lineback has thrown just 4 pitches so far. But it is going to be Tyson Antonin who, again, will be used in the third pitcher, and Antonin last season through 39 innings, he had just one relief appearance. He was 6-0 with 36 hits allowed, 17 runs, 12 of them earned, 16 walks, 23 strikeouts, an ERA at 2.15, and a whip at 1.33, batting average against at 243. He was very, very good last summer and even better this spring, although the ERA was a little bit higher. Everything was almost about the same or a little bit lower on the whip and batting average against. First pitch to Dawson Getz. Kind of buckled him a little bit and takes it for strike one. Getz 0 for 2, struck out in the first, popped out to the second baseman in the fourth, and a sacrifice bunt in the third. And now time will be called and they will get some signs figured out. But Antonin led the team this spring in innings pitched with his 8 starts. Went 2-3 though overall. He was pretty much their number one guy. Ryan Lockram had the most appearances, but Antonin had the most starts of anybody. But he makes a relief appearance here. Here's the 0-1. That one comes upstairs. The count's now 1-1. Last summer, he had just one, so he's had one relief appearance from the summer to the spring, and now this will be just his second relief appearance over that span. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That'll be upstairs as well, and the count's 2-1. Again, Trevor Rounds is on deck. He is in place of Nolan Peterson, who came out of the game after Will Danberg came out of the game, and Rounds went in defensive replacement to bring Lineback in on the mound. Rounds takes the spot of Peterson in the batting order. Here's the 2-1. There's a sharp ground ball over to the third. Stepping on the bag over at third. That's going to be the only play to make. And they're now 2 down. As Brewer took it over to the third base bag by himself. And it remains first and second with 2 away. And it's now up to Trevor Rounds to try and get the go-ahead run in. So Rounds' first trip to the plate last summer for Rounds, .571 batting average. He dealt with the leg injury that kept him only, he could pitch, but he really couldn't do much running. That's a good block there behind the plate by Jensen. The first pitch is missing for ball 1. But he went 4 for 7 with 2 runs driven in last summer. This spring, for Rounds, he went to hit 152 with 2 doubles, a triple, and 6 runs driven in. That will hit Rounds, and the bases are now loaded for Cooper Terwilliger. And Terwilliger has been on base twice. He has a triple, but he's 1 for 2. We'll see if he can give the A's the lead with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. You are listening to KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront Broadcasting Station, just past 7 o'clock. Here in game 1 of our doubleheader. Terwilliger tripled with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Antonin was starting from the stretch. He stepped off, and now we'll go with the windup with the bases loaded here with 2 outs. Here's the first pitch. Terwilliger with a hard ground ball up the middle, fielded by the shortstop. Schneider will take it to the bag, just barely got to the bag in time. And that will retire the side. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, no runs scored in the inning. With just 1 hit, no errors, and 3 men left on base. We head to the top of the 7th. It is a 2-2 tie between Post 8 and Brookings. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisors understand this. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of Governor Athletics on KCCR. Go Govs! For all your investment needs, call or stop by one of our offices to visit with your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisor. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Stolken Peterson LLP has been your local CPA firm for over 40 years, offering tax preparation, bookkeeping, payroll, and consulting services. If your business, farm, or ranch needs professional, accurate, and reliable services, we are your firm. Our clients are our #1 priority. If you need a higher level of accounting service, give us a call at 605-224-5828. That's Stolken Peterson LLP, 222 East Missouri Avenue in Pierre. Well, it's 8-9-1 now here for Brookings in the top of the 7th in a 2-2 tie on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shuffleby scoreboard. Ridge Leinbach threw just 4 pitches, and the 1 batter that he faced got Ruhr striking out looking. And now it's Max Jensen, Jay Harris, and Trey Christofferson. The first 3 hitters here at the top of the 7th as the Eights look to keep this a 2-2 tie and try and walk it off in the bottom of the 7th inning. In the last 4 innings, the Eights have combined to leave 10 runners on base and scoring just 1 time from the 3rd through the 6th inning. There was an unearned run that scored as well. That's what we saw in the spring. That unfortunately, the Governors weren't able to beat Watertown. Obviously, saw some really good pitching. Saw a D1 pitcher and Caden Rylance in that first game against Watertown. But the struggle that the Governors went through all spring was hitting the ball well and hitting the ball in timely matters. And right now, obviously, it's still early in this summer season, but the Eights have got to find a way to cash in runs when it's time to cash in runs. You can't have multiple times straying the bases loaded as that first pitch is over for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 here to Jensen, who is 1 for 2 with a single back in the top of the 5th inning. That'll be grounded foul. And the count's quickly 0-2 here to Jensen. And Pierre will have 5, 6, and 7 in the bottom of the 7th inning with a chance to hit, whether it's a chance to score 1 run and win or having to score 1 or more runs to tie the game up. 1 run in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd for the Eights, 2 runs in the top of the 6th for Brookings. They will check, and I don't know if they actually checked or not, but no swing. And the count's now 1-2. 1-2 pitch. That one to be taken for strike 3. Again, all that matters is that there's just 1 extra pitch thrown from Leinbach, and it's the second time that he's got a man looking in his 2 at-bats. And 1 down here in the top of the 7th is Jay Harris, who is 0 for 2. Flew out to Leinbach and left back in the top of the 3rd. And ground out to the 3rd baseman, Hunsley, in the top of the 5th inning. First pitch is over for strike 1. Leinbach feels pretty good right now in the first 2 batters he has faced. 0-1 pitch is at the knees for a strike, and the count's 0-2. Time called by Jay Harris. And now it is an 0-2 pitch upcoming here from Leinbach. That one just fouled away by Harris to stay alive. Count remains at 0-2. 2 runs on 7 hits and 2 errors for Brookings. 2 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error for Post States. 3 of those 5 hits have been extra base hits for the Eights. Taken for strike 3. 3 straight strikeouts for Ridge Leinbach, all 3 being backwards Ks. And there's 2 down here at the top of the 7th. It brings up Trey Christofferson, who was 2 for 3. He singled the lead off the ball game in the first inning, doubled in the 3rd, then struck out looking in the 5th. The last strikeout of the ball game from Danberg. First pitch is missing low for ball 1. Leinbach has retired all 3 hitters he has faced, as they've all been looking at strike 3, but the count's 2-0 right now here to Christofferson. 2 big first outs of the inning, looking to go for a 1-2-3 in the top of the 7th and a chance to win it at the plate in the bottom of the 7th inning. Here's the 2-0. That one drops in for a strike. The bottom of the 7th, it is Grayson Hunsley, Ridge Leinbach, and Charlie Simpson. 2-1 pitch. That'll be missing high and outside, and the count's now 3-1. So far, the only free pass was a hit batter in the top of the 5th inning from the Eights. But that will be ball 4 to Christofferson, and it will extend the inning out to Cooper Schneider, who singled in his last at-bat. He got things going in the top of the 7th inning. I mean, at the top of the 6th, he singled and then came in to score on the Ryder Anderson RBI. For Frederick doubled home the other run to tie the game up in the top of the 6th. We'll see if there will be any movement at first base. Christofferson takes off with the first pitch. It'll be wide of Sonnenschein. Christofferson slides into second. And so because of that, does not allow the runner to take third, or he cannot even attempt to take third, but it is a stolen base. And now it's a runner in scoring position here with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. First pitch was missed for ball 1, so now Schneider will dig back in. Here's the 1-0. That's a curveball that stayed just upstairs. Schneider was backing out and knees were buckling, and he moved out of the way of the pitch, and it almost landed for a strike. 2-0. That'll be upstairs, and now it's 3-0. There is a base open over at first, but then you're dealing with 3 and 4 in the batting order. Jace Bauer is on deck. 3-0 pitch. That'll miss for ball 4, 4-pitch walk. And now it's first and second, but what it does is make it a force out at any base here with Bauer to the plate, who is 0 for 3. After back-to-back strikeouts and 3 straight for Leinbach to open up his outing, back-to-back walks now. And it's Jace Bauer who has, again, a chance of the base hit to give the Bandits their first lead here in game 1. First pitch to Bauer. That'll get to the backstop over the top of the head of Sonnenschein. And it's now second and third with 2 outs. And a base hit can make this a 2-run lead now for Brookings. And there's now an open base over at first, but you don't really want to load the bases up. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one is outside. 6 straight misses now for Leinbach. Actually, you have to go back to the first hitter of the 2 walks. It's over 7 straight misses. 2-0 pitch. That is a gift of a strike call. The count's now 2-1. That one was very low. And that's one that Leinbach needs to take advantage of. Here's a 2-1 pitch. That one stays upstairs, and the count's now 3-1. And in danger of walking the bases loaded. 3-1 from Leinbach. Misses for ball 4, and the bases are now loaded with 2 outs. 3 walks in a row. And it's Ryder Anderson who had an RBI. That made it a 2-1 game. Some activity out in the right field bullpen for the Eights right now, but Leinbach's going to go after this hitter and Ryder Anderson to keep this a 2-2 game. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1. Anderson singled in his only at-bats. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one, again, is a low strike call, then making a 1-1 count. Bases loaded here with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. 1-1 pitch. That one's upstairs, and the count's now 2-1. Tyson Antonin waits on deck. Here's the 2-1. That one's over for a strike, and the count's 2-2. And with the bases loaded, 2 outs, 2-2 pitch upcoming. Leinbach's looking to get out of this inning. 2-2 from Leinbach. Swing and a miss. He got him for strike 3. And after 3 straight walks, Leinbach will still strike out the side, just not in order. He made it interesting, but he got the job done in the top of the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors, but 3 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the 7th. The Eights need 1 run to win it. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Swing for the fences with a great deal from Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre. Whether you need a powerful truck, a fuel-efficient sedan, or a spacious SUV, they've got the perfect lineup to keep you on the road and in the game. Don't strike out. Stop by today or visit CapitalCityFordToyota.com. Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota, where the best deals in town are always in play.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
Well, just need 1 run to win here in the bottom of the 7th inning in a 2-2 tie. The American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard. Grayson Hunsley, Rich Leinbach, and Charlie Simpson. Last year, these 2 teams met. It was a 1-0 8-inning win for Brookings, and then they won 2-1, but it was a walk-off hit by pitch with the bases loaded last year on that Friday, May 31st game to open up the 2024 season, as Frederick was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded in his only plate appearance. They got the lone RBI, and Brookings had just 4 hits where Pierre had just 1. Well, a few more hits to go around in this game, a couple more runs to go around, but it is still 2-2 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Grayson Hunsley, who is 0 for 3, has a chance to get us started here in the bottom of the 7th. To try and get the Eights the winning run on base early on in the leadoff man. Here's the first pitch. That is off the glove of Jensen, but he missed high anyway, and the count's 1-0. Here to Grayson Hunsley. Ridge Leinbach, Charlie Simpson. Those 3 hitters can get the job done and get a big first game win, and then try and go for the sweep in game 2. Hunsley off the handle. That'll be floated out into the second baseman. The catch will be made for the first out as Bauer puts that one away. 1 down here at the bottom of the 7th, and it's now Ridge Leinbach. Leinbach is 0 for 2. Popped out in foul territory in the bottom of the 2nd, and then popped out to the second baseman in the bottom of the 4th. Drew a walk in the 5th inning. First pitch will miss low for ball 1. Made things exciting at the top of the 7th. Back-to-back strikeouts looking to open up the 7th inning, and then he walked 3 straight. for striking out Anderson to end the 7th inning. Here's a chopper that'll be foul over to the third base side, just to the left of the bag. And it's a 1-1 count. 5 hits so far for Pierre. They've had 5 of the 6 innings. They've got a base hit, 1 in each of the innings. Never had multiple hits in an inning. This would be a great time to make that happen. There's a swing and a miss by Lineback that counts 1-2. Tyson Antonin, the third pitcher being used by Brookings here in game 1. After Breck Wilson went 4 innings, Cooper Schneider went an inning and a third. Now Antonin's got a full inning under his belt. Lineback reaching forwards, popping it up on the right side. It was a 2-strike protect swing, and he ends up fouling out to Frederick over at first base, and there's now 2 down. And it's now Charlie Simpson with 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Simpson trying to start a 2-out rally here for the Eights. He's going to reach base and then come in to score. First pitch is over for strike 1. Otherwise, we are heading into some free baseball here in game 1 of the season. There's a ground ball to the left side. It'll be fielded by the shortstop Schneider on a tough hop. He throws to first to retire the side, and it is a 1-2-3 bottom of the 7th, and we are headed to extras here in game number 1. 2-2 our scores. We head to the 8th. You're listening to Post-8 Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Back in a minute.
Becky Potsaba and State Farm Insurance are here to help you with your insurance and banking needs. State Farm's not just insurance. It's banking, investments, IRAs, loans, and a whole lot more. We offer guidance in a personal and caring way that helps you manage the risks of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and find ways to control costs so you can realize your dreams. We know how life is, and we're here for you. Stop in to see Becky at 1315 East Wells Avenue in Pierre, or call Becky at 224-4173.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
It is the top of the 8th, and it is a 2-2 tie on the American Family Insurance Sprinting Shuffle by and scoreboard. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Bandits post 74. Tyson Anton, Tane Frederick, and Kyson Ruhr will be the first 3 hitters. Anybody reaches base, Max Jensen. Ridge Lineback has got 4 strikeouts in the 7 guys he has faced. Nobody's put the ball in play yet against Lineback. 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. Anton is 0 for 2. He make that 0 for 3. Reached on a fielder's choice in the top of the 6th inning. Pierre was close to getting out of that top of the 6th. If they had turned that double play, the game would have been over half an inning ago. And because they would have had a 2-1 lead still in the top of the 6th inning. Obviously, you can't assume a double play was turned, but it was close to getting Antonin out on a second straight double play as he grounded into an inning-ending double play in the top of the 4th. But he's ahead in the count 2-0 right now against Ridge Lineback. 2-0 pitch. That'll miss low again. It's now 3-0. Lineback has been hit and miss. Either a walk or a strikeout so far in the first 7 guys he's faced. 3-0, showing bunt, pulling it back, and you're going to be taking for ball 4 straights to open up the top of the 8th inning, and a runner on at first with nobody out. And Tane Frederick will come to the plate. He is 1 for 2, RBI double in the top of the 6th inning to tie the game at 2-2. He struck out looking in the top of the 2nd. Was hit by a pitch in the top of the 5th. We'll see if he's going to be showing bunt. After 4 straight misses, might be showing bunt and pulling it back and waiting for a strike. Runner takes off. The throw to second, and he will slide in safely. It was taken for a strike, but the throw just a little bit late from Sunshine. And as O'Brien didn't make the catch either, he had it laid in front of him or stopped in front of him. But a stolen base for Antonin and represents the go-ahead run. An 0-1 count now to Frederick. Here's a hard ground ball. Hunsley will field over at third. The throw to first will be in time, and no chance to move the runner over to third base. Another great play there from Hunsley to look the runner back on a sharp grounder to the third baseman, Hunsley, and there's one down. And brings up Kyson Brewer. Brewer's 0 for 3, grounded out to the second, grounded out to the third baseman in the second. Flew out to Simpson and Wrights in the fifth, and then struck out looking to end the top of the sixth inning. The first man that Leinbach saw. Here's the first pitch. Taken for strike one on the outside edge. Now we'll see if anything, Coach Roach going through the signs, we'll see if there's going to be any. I wouldn't think there'd be a bunt. Are they going to try maybe a steal or just more of a decoy? 0-1 pitch showing bunt, taking it high for ball one. Coach Roach again going through the signs over at third. Coach Iverson has gone to the signs, the old school signs, not the numbers that have been yelled out. Showing bunt again, missing it. And now the count's 1-2. And chasing the runner back to second was Sunshine. Would not expect the bunt to stay on, but Coach Roach again going through all the signs. Here's the 1-2 from Leinbach. Swing and a miss. There's a strikeout of Ruhr, the second out here in the top of the eighth inning. And it will bring up Max Jensen. After a leadoff walk and a stolen base. Great job there by Grayson Hunsley on the ground out, and then a strikeout from Leinbach. Makes it 1 on and 2 outs now here at the top of the eighth inning. First pitch from Leinbach will be upstairs for ball one. Jensen is 1 for 3. He singled in the fifth inning. Grounded back to Will Danberg on the mound in his first at-bat, then struck out looking to lead off the top of the seventh inning. That one will be fouled to the right side. Count is 1-1. So Leinbach will not be available for the second game. Regardless of how he finishes out, I believe he won't be available for the second game, regardless of how he finishes out. 1-1 pitch. It'll miss low, and the count's 2-1. I think that maybe J.J. Buckles will get the start in game number 2. Just based off the rotation from last year and how things go, that expect that maybe he'll get a start here in the opening doubleheader. 2-1 pitch. Jensen was way late on it, but he still fouled it over to the right side. The count's now 2-2. More of a two-strike approach on that swing. I mean, it was going to be a strike, but he just fouled it away. Counts 2-2. Two-two pitch. Runner takes off. The throw to third. The tag. They got him at third to retire the side. It was going to be a 3-2 count. Coach Roach thinking that he was safe, but he is thrown out trying to steal third. Is Tyson Antonin, and it retires the side here in the top of the eighth inning. Good throw from Sunshine. Good tag by Hunsley. And it ends the inning in the top of the eighth. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. Again, the Eights have a chance to win it with just one run in the bottom half of the inning. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
For over 60 years, Ferding Electric has been powering homes and businesses across central South Dakota. When you need reliable electrical service, trust the experts with decades of experience. Whether it's a simple residential repair, a complex commercial installation, or even electrical work on your farm, Ferding Electric has you covered. And if you're tired of searching everywhere for that hard-to-find bulb, Ferding Electric carries a wide selection of bulbs, including those hard-to-find fluorescent and specialty options. Visit us at 2903 East Elizabeth Street or call today, 605-224-8684. Venture Communications has deep roots in rural South Dakota. Venture now proudly provides fiber to the home with 100% of our customers, enabling them to enjoy super fast and reliable internet connections. We'd like the opportunity to keep you in touch with the people and resources that matter most. 100% fiber and 100% committed to rural South Dakota. Call Venture Communications today at 605-852-2224, 605-852-2224, or online at venturecom.net.
It is the bottom of the eighth, 2-2 on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard. And the Eights are looking to try and win Game 1. Porter Hunsley, Parker O'Brien, and Sutton Sunshine. 8-9-1 here for the Eights in the bottom of the eighth. They get a walk-off here in the first ball game of 2025. Tyson Antonin with an inning and 2/3 of relief so far. And again, Game 2 will follow somewhere around 20 to 30 minutes after Game 1 concludes. We'll still try and maybe have game coverage of Indiana and New York, but as it stands right now, we're looking more like at the earliest an 8 o'clock start for Game 2 of our doubleheader. And that might push us past the end of the basketball game. We will have coverage, though, of college softball tomorrow. As they've played 2 games so far. They're actually probably almost through the 3rd game. But we'll have 2 games tomorrow. We'll see how things go, if we'll have any NBA or NHL on Saturday night. We'll have another game at least another game on Saturday, if not another 2 games on Saturday. And then Sunday we'll have another 2 games for you. Here is the first pitch to Porter Hunsley. That's over for strike 1. We'll have coverage of the Women's College World Series. We'll have coverage of the Men's College World Series coming up midway point of June. I believe June 13th, that Friday. We'll have post-state baseball that Friday and Saturday, but we'll have coverage of the College World Series mixed in between there. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Hunsley with a fly ball to left field. That will get down for a base hit. Leadoff single for Hunsley. And the winning run is aboard here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Hunsley is now 1 for 3, and it brings up Parker O'Brien, who's been on base all 3 times. And I would be hard-pressed to think that O'Brien is doing anything but bunting, at least in the first couple of pitches of this at-bat. The third baseman in Ruhr is also already thinking that O'Brien's going to be bunting the ball. Antonin will come set from the stretch. O'Brien squares, bunts its third base line, but it bounced foul. Was not touched by the catcher in Jensen and Ruhr, and it's now 0-1. Signs going through again here from Coach Iverson. Hunsley over at first base. Porter Hunsley at first. O'Brien will dig back in. Antonin comes set from the stretch. Pickoff attempt, and diving back in is Hunsley. Trying to get that winning run at second. Trying to force him into scoring position. And who knows, maybe a throwing error, a bad throw that can keep there still nobody out. Another bunt, that will be popped behind the catcher. That's now 0-2. O'Brien fails to bunt it fair twice. That one thankfully went behind the head of the catcher in Jensen, who by the time he turned around and located it, it was behind the umpire. So the count's 0-2 to O'Brien. And the bunt is no longer going to be in play. See if he can drive one and get a base hit. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. And there's one down here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Good curveball there from Antonin. And the first time that O'Brien's been kept off the base path. He's now 0 for 2. And it's now Sunshine who's been on base all 4 times. 3 for 3 so far for Sunshine. Tripled in the first, singled in the 3rd and 6th, and he drew a walk in the 4th inning. 4-hit game sounds pretty nice for Sunshine right now. First pitch, fly ball to left field towards the line. It will be caught by the left fielder. Harris makes the catch near the warning track on the left field side. And there's now 2 down. And that had a little bit more charge into it than what it seemed like off the bat. But after a leadoff single from Hunsley, he's now standing there still at first with Dawson Getz to the plate with 2 outs. So Dawson Getz, who is 0 for 3 so far, reaching a fielder's choice in the bottom of the 6th. Trying to keep this one from being extended to the 9th inning right now. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1. It would be 8-9-1 for Brookings in the top of the 9th if we get there. One-0 count here to Dawson Getz. Antonin will check the runner at first. He'll come set. Now the throw over. And they got him out at first. They pick him off. They pick off Porter Hunsley over at first, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and it will extend us to the 9th. So the leadoff single, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and no one left on base. We head to the 9th, 2-2 between Pierre and Brookings. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your health care is important, and Shane wants to be the pharmacist to take care of you. Shane's Pharmacy will make sure your prescriptions are filled in a timely manner, they will answer your questions, and they will even deliver to your home or office. Call 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy, the pharmacy you know and trust. The number again is 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy in Fort Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
Yag Air Incorporated is your locally owned ag, chemical, and seed retailer. Yag Air Incorporated offers reliable ground and aerial application. For the latest seed and chemical pricing, contact Kyle at 605-280-8710 or Tony at 605-280-4771. Yag Air for all your ag, chemical, and seed needs. Kyle, 605-280-8710 or Tony, 605-280-4771.
So Hudson Stosher will take over on the mound here in the top of the 9th inning, and we play 9. It's a 7-inning ball game, but we're going to play 9, at least 9, in game number 1. As Trevor Rounds will stay out in left, Hunsley stays out in center, so it is a straight swap between Ridge Leinbach and Hudson Stosher. Everybody else will stay the same. So Stosher takes over, and for Leinbach, we'll get you the totals here in just a moment. But for Hudson Stosher, this is his Senior Legion debut. I think maybe he's got to get the necklace off before he gets back on the mound. But for Hudson Stosher, 11 2/3 innings in 6 appearances overall. He had 2 starts. He went 0-1 during the spring with 3 saves. There was 4 saves in total. He had 3 of the 4. Porter Hunsley had the other save. 7 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned. 7 walks, 7 strikeouts. At ERA at 3.6, WHIP at 1.2, and a batting average against at 179. And so a 1.2 WHIP and a 179 batting average. That's you like those numbers from the rising junior, as he will have to work against the 8-9-1 hitters here in the top of the 9th inning. Again, this is just game 1 of our doubleheader. We still got another game left to go here at Hyatt Stadium to kick off the 2025 season. And we gave you some free baseball immediately into the season, just like last year. It took 8 innings in the game 1 between Pierre and Brookings. This one will at least take 9 innings. Ridge Linebaugh goes 2 1/3 innings without giving up a run, no hits allowed. He had 4 walks and 5 strikeouts as he threw a total of 46 pitches. And now it's Hudson Stosher, third pitcher being used by Post 8s. 3 pitchers have been used so far for Brookings as the first pitch misses for ball 1 to Max Jensen, who was left at the plate in the top of the 8th inning. Counts 2-0. After Tyson Antonin was thrown out trying to steal third with 2 outs. Same can be said for Dawson Getz, who will take over, will get back to the plate in the bottom of the 9th inning. That one just misses, and the count's 3-0 here from Hudson Stosher to Max Jensen. 3-0 pitch. That one's right down the middle for a strike. Counts 3-1. Max Jensen, Jay Harris, Trey Christofferson. Anybody reaches base, Cooper Schneider. 3-1 pitch. That one just misses for ball 4. And it'll be a leadoff walk here in the top of the 9th inning, and it brings up Jay Harris. And again, we'll most likely see that Jay Harris, especially the number 9 man in the batting order, most likely be trying to drop down a bunt. It didn't work for the 8s in the bottom of the 8th inning. Maybe it can work in the favor of the 8s here in the top of the 9th. First pitch here from Stosher. Showing bunt, taking it for strike 1 at the top of the zone. Harris looks back at the home plate umpire. Now we'll look over to Coach Roach. A first pitch strike from Hudson Stosher. Time will be called. Sudden Sunshine will jog out towards the mound to have a conversation with Stosher. Runner on at first here with nobody out in the top of the 9th inning. 2-2 is their score. 1 run in the first, 1 in the 3rd, and then 2 runs in the top of the 6th inning for Brookings. Tied the game at 2. He sat there since then as we hit here in the 9th. Pickoff attempt and diving back in without a tag being applied was Max Jensen. Hunsley over at third base is already charging in. He's standing on the infield grass. As Harris will square over again, pulls it back and takes it for another strike. So he's got 2 strikes on him, and he didn't offer at any of the 2 pitches. And again, you don't think that there's going to be a bunt on at this point, but Grayson Hunsley over at third, not quite sure about it. 0-2 pitch, he's swinging away. And that will be in the dirt. It will be blocked up by Sunshine. The throw to second will be high. It will get off the glove of Dawson Getz, but not far enough away to try and get Jensen over to third. And it'll be a stolen base for Jensen. And there is now a runner on at second with nobody out. And regardless of what happens here with Jay Harris, you can say the job was done to move the runner into scoring position. Stosher, the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. There's a big strikeout. Second time that Harris is down on strikes. 1 down here in the top of the 9 and in the top of the 9th, and it brings up Christofferson. He's been hard to retire in this game. Singled in the first, doubled in the 3rd, and then walked in the 7th inning. He's 2 for 3. Only time he's been retired, he struck out looking in the top of the 5th inning. First pitch from Stosher to Christofferson is over for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 from Stosher. That was a curveball that's upstairs, and the count's 1-1. Cooper Schneider waits on deck. He's fouled by Jace Bauer. Here in the top of the 9th with 1 out and a runner on at second. 1-1 pitch. That's upstairs. 2-1 the count. Stosher will come set from the stretch, delivers the 2-1. That is also upstairs. The count's now 3-1. You don't have to give in to Christofferson with a base open over at first. Set the double play back up if he does give up the walk. 3-1 pitch. That'll be fouled out of play by Christofferson. And now it's 3-2, and he can go for the strikeout here. Post State will have 2, 3, and 4 due up in the bottom of the ninth. Dawson Guest, Trevor Rounds, and Cooper Twilliger. Stosher, who takes over in line box position, will be due up 5th. Here's a 3-2. Ground ball off the glove of Stosher. It's going to be a tough play for Guest. He's going to have no play. It'll be an infield single as Stosher just clipped off the top of his glove. And is now first and third with 1 away. An unfortunate break for the Eights. And now here is Cooper Schneider. And now you have to, as Sun and Shine going through the signals of what they're going to do. With the speed of Christofferson, you got to think that they're going to take off to second. And then you got to make sure you know exactly what you're doing. Where if you're going to try and get him out, or you're going to try and make sure you catch to try and throw the runner out trying to score. Runner takes off. There's no throw at all towards second. They will allow him to take second base, so a stolen base for Christofferson. And it's now second and third, and the infield's going to come in all the way around here with 1 out. A 1-0 count to Schneider. Any ground ball, play being made by the infield. You're going to try and keep that runner over at third base. That one just misses for ball 2. Counts 2-0. Jace Bauer and Ryder Anderson, the next 2 guys up. Two-0 pitch. That one's over for a strike. Schneider, who is 1 for 3 so far, singled in the 6th, walked in the 7th. Looking to give his team the lead here in the top of the 9th. This is fouled back. And it's now a 2-2 count. And Stosher is looking for a second strikeout here in the inning. If he can get the strikeout, the infield can go back to normal depth. And get out of this inning here. 2-2 pitch from Stosher to Schneider. Delivers. Fouled back. Breaking ball that Schneider got a piece of to stay alive. Again, infield is in all the way around. Any ground ball, they're keeping that runner over at third or trying to gut him down at the plate if he takes off on contact. 2-2 from Stosher again. Blocked by Sun and Shine, and he moves it up the first base line. Stosher was coming in to make sure he was covering, and no chance for that runner at third to try and score. Big block there from Sun and Shine. Now the count's full to Cooper Schneider. 3-2. And time called right before Stosher was going to go deliver the pitch. So Schneider will have to dig back in. Stosher will work from the stretch as he gets the sign. He'll come set and deliver the payoff pitch to Schneider. Upstairs for ball 4. Bases are now loaded here with 1 away. But that means a force out at any base, any ground ball can help try and get you out of this inning, or at least go home with it. The middle will go back to try and turn 2 to get out of the inning. And now it's Jace Bauer. Ground ball up the middle, yes, and you're going to try and turn 2, but ground ball to the corners at first or third. They're going to go home with it for the force out, and ground ball back to the pitcher for Stosher to go home with it. First pitch, Bauer swings and misses for strike 1. Good first pitch strike there from Stoscher. Here's the 0-1. That one just misses inside. And the count's 1-1. That was a really good pitch there from Stoscher. It had to just barely miss. What could have been an 0-2 count, now a 1-1 pitch from Stoscher. That one just misses, maybe a little bit outside. And the count goes now 2-1. 2 walks in the inning and a base hit. I've loaded the bases with 1 out here in the top of the 9th. 2-1. That one's fouled back, and the count's now 2-2. Two count with 1 out here in the top of the 9th inning with the bases loaded. Bauer, who is 0 for 3 with a walk. Stoscher looking for a second strikeout. That'd be big right now to get that second strikeout. He'll come set from the stretch, deliver the 2-2. Ground ball, diving play by O'Brien, knocks it down. The throw to first will not be in time, and it will be an infield RBI single to make it a 3-2 lead for Brookings here in the top of the 9th inning. And so the Bandits have taken the lead. An infield single, second infield single of the inning. And it's Ryder Anderson who is 1 for 2 with an RBI single. Bases remain loaded here with 1 out. And the Bandits are looking for a crooked number. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1. Again, the Eights will have 2, 3, and 4 in the bottom of the 9th inning. With Getz, Rounds, and Terwilliger. By the way, this is still game 1 of our doubleheader. We've got another game coming up. 1-0 pitch. That's upstairs, and the count's 2-0. Somewhere around 20 to 30 minutes after game 1, we'll get underway with game 2. The Eights have work in front of them in the bottom half of the inning. And hopefully not much more than just needing to score 1 run. The count's now 3-0 here to Ryder Anderson. Sunshine will make his way out and talk with with the Stoscher to try and settle him down and get a couple of strikes fired in. Nowhere to put Ryder Anderson. No activity in the right field bullpen right now for the Eights either. Anderson will dig in with a 3-0 count, most likely taken all the way. The 3-0 from Hudson Stoscher will walk him, and it's a 4-2 lead. And they'll bring up Tyson Antonin, who led off the top of the 8th inning. He's the 7th man to come to the plate. Two runs in the top of the 6th, and now 2 runs here in the 9th. And the first lead of the ball game for the Bandits come in the top of the 9th inning. First pitch is over for strike 1 to Tyson Antonin, who walked to lead off the 8th inning, but then was thrown out trying to steal 3rd with 2 outs. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That'll miss low, and the count's 1-1. Frederick and Ruhr, the next 2 batters, that would be 8 and 9 in the inning for Brookings. But still, just 1 ground ball away from limiting the damage to just 2 runs. 1-1, that's down the middle for a strike, and the count's 1-2. Stoscher does have a strikeout in the inning, looking for a second one. Struck out Jay Harris. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That'll miss low. Counts 2-2. Bases are loaded. Schneider over at third, Maurer at second, Anderson at first. The 2-2. On the hands and just fighting it off to stay alive was Antonin. And it remains at 2-2. Shadows are creeping in front of the mound, right at the mound. Making it a little bit tougher coming out of the hand to recognize the pitch. 2-2 pitch. This will be popped foul just to the left of the press box. And the count again remains at 2-2. Again, no activity on the right field bullpen for the Eights. No activity in the left field bullpen for Brookings. Here's a 2-2. This will be fouled again. This will be over the top of the press box to our left. And Antonin, the pitcher for Brookings, the third pitcher being used for Brookings in game one, he is making Stosur work. 3 straight fouls with 2 strikes. Another 2-2. Fouled in, and no, it did not go into the mid of Sun and Shine. Looked like it went into the mid at first, but it skipped off of Sun and Shine, and it remains at 2-2. Well, if he even really got a piece of the mid or not, but it went off of the catcher, Sun and Shine. The shadows made it a little bit harder for me to see, which I already have a hard time seeing as it is. 2-2 pitch. Again, this one will bounce in. Good block there from Sun and Shine, but it does make the count full at 3-2. There's only just one out as Coach Roach put his hands up, telling everybody there's just one out. You're not off with the pitch until that second out is made. Here's the 3-2. This will be popped up on the right side. Long run for everybody. Out towards the foul line. O'Brien will make the catch. Runner will tag. The throw coming to the plate. Sun and Shine. He will swipe the ball over into the runner of Schneider, trying to make the catch and swipe the tag. There's now 2 down, and it turns into a sacrifice fly to make it a 5-2 lead. Here's from someone saying that they left too soon, and I think they want to appeal it over at third. And they got to make sure that they do it the right way, because the Eights or the Govs got burned on trying to check somebody. And I don't know if they can just ask for the appeal or if they have to. Well, the umpire already says he's safe over at third. I guess I don't have to worry about that too much, but it turns into a sac fly. Sac fly RBI as the catch was made by O'Brien. And so now here's the first pitch over for strike one to Tain Frederick, who had the tying RBI double in the top of the 6th inning. But a 3-run top of the 9th right now has given Brookings a 5-2 advantage. He's got a chance to add to it. 8th man to come to the plate. Here's the 0-1. That one just misses. And the count is now even at a ball and a strike to Frederick. Again, the Eights will have 2, 3, and 4. Getz, Rounds, and Terwilliger. Needing at least 3 runs. As this is skied out to left field. Rounds will get underneath it. He'll still backpedal, and he'll make the catch. A little bit more difficult than maybe what it needed to be, but he still made the catch to retire the side and send us to the bottom of the 9th inning. A 3-run top of the 9th for Brookings, and we are down to the bottom of the 9th and 3 runs for the Eights. That's what they need to keep the game alive. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
Summer is here, and Beck Motor Company is stepping up to the plate. As a proud supporter of Legion Baseball, we're hitting it out of the park with unbeatable deals on the Chevy and Cadillac vehicles. Whether you're looking for the power of a Chevy Silverado or the luxury of Cadillac Escalade, Beck Motor Company has the perfect ride for you. So swing by today. Take your game and your drive to the next level. Beck Motor Company, your local Chevy and Cadillac dealer. Proud to support our youth and ready to put you behind the wheel of your dream vehicle. www.beck-motors.com, 605-224-5912. Well, it's the bottom of the ninth, and it is a 3-run lead for Brookings. The 2, 3, and 4 here for the Eights. Dawson Getz, Trevor Rouse, Cooper Twilliger. And they need guys on base. Grayson Hunsley and Hudson Stocher will follow. Tyson Antonin will try and work the win, as he is the third pitcher being used by Brookings here in Game 1 of our doubleheader. Ball State has used 3 pitchers as well. And Dawson Getz, who was at the plate with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning, was left there after Porter Hunsley was picked off at first base. He led off the inning with a single, and the Eights were unable to advance him to second in any productive outs, and then he got picked off to end the inning. So here's Dawson Getz, first pitch to him, over for strike 1. As we approach the 3-hour mark of Game 1, we still got another game to go. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. A curveball that was missing low and gets offered at it. Counts 0-2. Gets 0 for 3 so far, with a sacrifice bunt in there as well. Here is the 0-2. That's upstairs. Counts 1-2. And Game 2 will be coming up. Then next week, Tuesday, the Eights will travel to Sioux Falls to take on Sioux Falls East in a doubleheader, starting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. 1-2 pitch. That is lined up the middle, but it is caught by the second baseman as Bauer makes the grab, and the leadoff man is retired here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And it brings up Trevor Rounds, who is 0 for 1 so far. Actually, he is 0 for 0. He was hit by a pitch in his first trip to the plate. Then again, Pierre will travel to the Veterans Classic Thursday, Friday, Saturday for pool play next weekend. First pitch will miss low for ball 1. Then Sunday will be determined on how they finish. It'll be a 10 o'clock Central Time start for Game 1, as Pierre will face Scottsbluff, Nebraska. Westco will be the opponent. Then they'll face Laramie in Game 2, as that one's over for a strike that counts 1-1. Then they get the Friday night marquee matchup between Pierre and Post 22. It'll be an 8 o'clock Central Time start. Upstairs counts 2-1. Then they'll play mid-afternoon, or early afternoon, I guess still in the morning Mountain Time wise, against Miles City. Close out pool play, and then they might play at Pete Lean, they might play at 22, or you hope that they get a chance to play on Sunday, as that one will be upstairs, and it counts 3-1. There is with a 5-team pool, make that a 7-team pool, that they may not end up having a game on Sunday. 3-1 pitch. This will be grounded foul to the right side. That counts 3-2. Excuse me, it'll be an 18 pool, but it does look like everybody will get a chance to play on Sunday. Here is the 3-2 now to Trevor Rounds. Rounds with a line shot to right field. Sliding, he can't make the catch. It'll get all the way out to the wall. Rounds is on his way to second. He will round second and get to third. He will have himself a stand-up triple with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. Another triple for Pierre. There's their third of the game. They still got more work in front of him, but Rounds gets his first hit of the summer. And here is one of those guys that has one of the triples in the game, and Cooper Twilliger. So the tying run is now moved to the on-deck circle for the Eights. And they're not any concern of the Rounds run. They'll trade it out for a run with Brookings leading by 3. This will be fouled just to the left of the press box. Actually almost hit the window, and right above the window to our left. That was hard hit ball by Twilliger. The foul back. This will be bouncing in front of the plate, blocked up by the catcher. And Jensen, the count's 1-1 to Twilliger. Grayson Hunsley waits on deck, and Hudson Stosher will hit after that. Potentially. There's a swing by Twilliger. He didn't want to offer at it, but the count's now 1-2. It will be Hudson Stosher that would make his way out to swing the bat, then be followed by Charlie Simpson. Need all those guys to come to the plate. Here in the bottom of the ninth inning with a 3-run deficit, 1 out. 1-2 to Twilliger. And Twilliger will shoot that out to the gap in left center field. That will get down and will score a run. Twilliger will round first. He's got an RBI single, makes it 5-3. And the tying run will come to the plate here with 1 out in the bottom of the ninth inning. The Aces aren't done quite yet here in game number 1. And now Grayson Hunsley. 5-3 our score. RBI here from Twilliger, as he is 2 for 4 in the ball game. First pitch to Hunsley will bounce in front of the plate after it hit Jensen. 1-0 count. Hunsley so far 0 for 4, 2 ground outs and 2 pop outs. Hudson Stosher, barring a double play, will get a chance to swing the bat in the bottom of the ninth inning. A miss outside. The count's now 2-0. The winning run has moved to the on-deck circle. 8 hits for the Eights. They still trail by 2 here in game number 1. 2-0 is upstairs, and it's now 3-0. And Hunsley will be taking all the way, and a chance to maybe put that tying run on base here in the bottom of the ninth inning. You're listening to KCCR Pierre, Riverfront Broadcasting Station. It'll be the 4th time we've had a legal ID in this game. And we're still only in game number 1. Showing bunt, pulls it back, taking it for ball 4, and the tying run is now at first base. It is first and second with 1 away, and it's now Hudson Stosher. And for Hudson Stosher, as he comes to the plate for the first time, it is a .222 batting average this spring, 4 for 18. It does have 3 runs driven in. OPS at .433. And a chance here with runners at first and second. And 1 away. Basic can make this a 1-run ball game. Here's the first pitch from Antonin. That one's taken for strike 1. Post 320, they knock off Aberdeen Smitty's 10-6. We can go through some final scores. The phone's a little bit too far away for me to try and tell you a lot of score updates. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's over for a strike, and Stosher now down the count 0-2. Charlie Simpson is on deck. Porter Hunsley would follow. Again, they're still 1 ground ball away from ending the ball game, but Stosher can make this a 1-run game with a base hit. He's down 0-2 in the count. 0-2 from Antonin. Stosher will sky this one up left side. Foul territory. Everybody's running for it. Antonin will make the catch for the second out. And it's now up to Charlie Simpson to try and keep this ball game alive. Antonin, the pitcher, coming off the mound and make that play. Well, Simpson, he can end this game with 1 swing of the bat, one way or the other. Ball could leave the ballpark and have ourselves a walk-off home run. See if you can find a pitch to drive. A gap shot could tie the game up with Hunsley over at first, but he's off with contact. Gap shot could tie the game. First pitch, Simpson will shoot out towards right field. It will get to the right fielder who will slide to make the catch and to end the ball game. And the Eights were that close to maybe getting over the head of the right fielder in Anderson that could have tied the game up. But it will be a Game 1 9-inning win for Brookings. 5-3 our final in game number 1. So a 5-3 win for Brookings. We'll come back in 2 minutes to wrap up game number 1. You're listening to Post-Day Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Walking together in faith, living together in faith, working together in faith, that's who we are.
Hi, this is Pastor Sam Hanschke. I hope that our athletes have an excellent and successful season. I pray that God would continue to richly bless them. I invite you to join me in praying for our athletes during the year.
We're Faith Lutheran and we are glad you're here.
Did you know it is important for your child to see the dentist at the time their first tooth erupt? A healthy smile begins at birth, and there are many variables, from healthy eating habits to good oral hygiene and routine dental care. Hi, I am Dr. Michelle Hofer. At Missouri River Dentistry, we enjoy working with people of all ages. Dentistry is our profession, but people are our focus. I invite families to come experience an office that uses the latest techniques and equipment to be sure you receive that healthy and happy smile. To schedule your appointments for your family, call us at 223-2021. Kids love us, parents trust us.
As South Dakota's oldest auto dealer, it's our 118th anniversary. Stop by and sign up for drawings, prizes, beef bucks. You save thousands with Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram employee pricing, plus incentives for everyone. Buick GMC incentives up to $6,250. Plus, all of our new vehicles in stock are tariff-free. Check out our huge selection of used vehicles at our 118th anniversary on the windshields and at WagnerAuto.com. Wagner Auto, your one place to go for sales and service, 118 years in Pierre.
Helping people.
Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Owyhee Federal Credit Union member? At Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place because, well, they do.
Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
As we welcome you back, it is a final in Game 1. Post-State will drop it 5-3 to the Brookings Bandits in 9 innings, as it was a 3-run top of the 9th inning to make it a 5-2 lead before the Eights did get 1 run on an RBI single from Cooper Twilliger. But it is, as we're trying to get through the final stats here to tell you exactly everything through the order, as it was a 1 run in the bottom of the first, and then a run in the bottom of the third for the Eights in this first game before a 2-run top of the 6th tied the game at 2-2, and then 3 runs at the top of the 9th, with the Eights scoring that 1 run and making a 5-3 game. 5 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors, and 10 men left on base for Brookings. 3 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, and 13 men left on base for the Eights in game number 1. Pitching-wise, we'll start with the Brookings Bandits. 4 innings for Breck Wilson to start. 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 of them earned, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Cooper Schneider in relief got 1 in the 3rd innings, giving up 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. And then Tyson Andon will get the win in 3 2/3 of relief. 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. For the Eights, the start was by Will Danberg, 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits allowed, 2 runs, only 1 of them earned, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. Ridge Leinbach went 2 1/3 innings without allowing a hit or a run, but he had 4 walks and 5 strikeouts. And then Hudson Stosher in 1 inning relief gave up 2 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. And he will take the loss in this first game. Time of the ball game was 3 hours and 4 minutes in a full 9-inning game of Game 1 of our doubleheader. We've got another game on tap. Somewhere around 8:30 is the scheduled start time, maybe a little bit after 8:30 for our scheduled start time, but we'll have it for you here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Post-State just didn't have the timely hits. Again, they in their 8 hits, they had a hit in all but 2 innings. But in 7 or 6 of those 8 innings or 7 innings that they had hits, they had just 1 hit. They had 2 hits, was a triple by Rounds and a single by Twilliger. to score that run. And that was the only time they had multiple hits in an inning where Brookings did it twice. But in those 2 innings that they did it twice, they scored their 5 runs. They had 5 runs on 5 hits in the 2 innings. So they were able to get the timely hits when they needed them. They were able to use the take advantage of the walks late in the game and took advantage of the 1 error that Post State had and turned into a Game 1 win for Brookings here this evening. So Game 2 coming up in just a little bit. We'll have coverage of that on the way. We will hear from News Director Zach Nelson. His 5 o'clock news will be coming up. We haven't heard from him since the morning because of our coverage of college softball and then getting into Post-State baseball coverage. So we'll hear his news coming up here in just a little bit. When we come back, we'll have Game 2 lineups and first pitch on the way. Somewhere around 8:30 or so is going to be first pitch of game number 2. We'll step aside, and if you're watching on YouTube right now, we'll end the first YouTube broadcast. We'll come back with our second game on the way here in just a little bit, right before first pitch. So if you're watching on YouTube, that video will end, but make sure you go through YouTube and get that second game going whenever that is available. We'll have that upcoming shortly on YouTube. Again, final score 5-3 in 9 innings for Brookings over Pierre. Back after this here on